the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Let's go. Let's go. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Hit that like button. Come on.
The east is where we're from.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
12 tribes of Israel.
In 721 BC.
721 BC. The Assyrian king.
He took us down, we fell. Hit the like button.
With a great escape we went
through the Euphrates.
The Lord held the water still.
To a land where no mankind dwelt.
To a land where no mankind dwelt. We went. The 12 tribes of Israel. So we be Manasseh, the Cubans.
East from Puerto Rico.
And valley from the hearts of Hawaii.
The Lord is calling back Israel.
From Panama, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans.
A highest gathering Israel.
The Arabs and Africans told us.
Hit that like button.
Together our wives and children then sold us.
We're back.
In the belly of these great ships we
Traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. A higher gatherer. Whoa.
from Australia. It's the Mexicans. A highest gathering Israel.
Go ahead, Barack. That's right, brothers and sisters. The Most High's gather in Israel. We are the elders of the Gathering of Christ Church here with our weekly broadcast. That's right. The fall of an empire. Famine. We're going to talk about this today, this evening. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for all your support. Always supporting the Gathering of Christ Church as we bring forth the truth that brings in the Most High's kingdom. The kingdom come not by observation. That's what Christ said. We sitting here waiting for what? When the kingdom is within us. It's what we do that speeds up prophecy. When we come together, when we begin to pray to the Most High, Ahaya is his name, in the name of Christ. Guess what, brothers and sisters? The heavens have no choice but to respond. It's a domino effect. When we come together, the heavens begin to respond, and then the Gentiles begin to scramble, knowing that they have a short time. The kingdom doesn't come through observation. It doesn't come through social media. It doesn't come through anything but what? Bringing forth the kingdom, doing God's work on earth, which speeds up the prophecies, folks. Man, speaking of speeding up the prophecies, I have a few announcements to make. Brothers and sisters, do you notice that, and I was speaking to Elder Lawya about this earlier, and again, thank you. Hit the like button as you come in. All praises be to the Most High in the name of Yeshua. We thank the Most High for breath, for life, and the truth. We thank the Most High. Hit that like button. I was speaking to Elder Lawya before the broadcast. I'm sorry we're a little tardy, but man, brothers and sisters, for the last 2 days, from the time I got up in the morning, I worked all the way to 2, 3 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock, working in the garden, okay, turning the ground, fertilizing the fruit trees, turning the ground. Oh yeah, Elder, yeah. I also was able to find some spring onion. I got a whole thing of spring onion that I planted and I forgot it was there. I harvest some of that. So Elder Lawya, I'll tell you what, you bring me some of your eggs and I'll bring some spring onions fresh, and they real nice too. Right? I'm going to put those in the refrigerator. You bring me some of those eggs from that chicken, and I'm going to bring you some of the stuff I have in the garden that I was able to just pull up. Thank you, Nina. Bless you. I was also able to double honors, Elder. So thankful to the Most High for you. All praises be to the Most High. The name of the King Yeshua aligned with the heavens. Bless you, Sister Nina. And may the Most High bless your home. Yeah, Elder. I was just, man, let me tell you, you're out there on the grass, just clear thoughts, right? You're sitting there working the field and just thanking the Most High, for his strength and power and an opportunity to prepare before famine. Right? And I'm like, man, the Lord is great. He's doing so much for us, and we can never forget our blessings. Always, brothers and sisters, focus on your blessings. Yes, the whole world is coming down. Right. Babylon is falling. Yeah, okay. The end of an empire. Okay. But there's always something in the earth which are blessings to thank the Most High for. And it depends on what we would choose to focus on. Right? The curses or the blessings. And we choose to keep our minds on the latter. Okay? And although, yeah, I was getting back on track. Thank you. Thank you, Maria, GOCC. I'm going to talk to you in a second. And thank you also, Yvonne. Brothers and sisters, I was talking to Elder Lawya and I said, you notice that this weather just can't get right. Right? At the Passover, it was near 80 degrees. Then it went back winter. Then a couple of weeks ago, it was 80 degrees. Then it went back winter. Right? And then it was cold last week, and then it turned summer while it's spring. Right now, it's 80 degrees. Right?
Right.
And then in a few more days, it's going to go down to 50. And I said, you know what? What's going on here? There's no way we'll be able to get the crops right this year as far as a great harvest based on what's going on with the weather. The farmers don't know what to do right now. They're doing the best they can. And of course, you have some farmers who grow inside. May the Most High bless their soul. But we don't have those luxuries. We got ground and seeds and water, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the United States in particular isn't going to bring forth a good harvest this year, just based on what the weather is. And I said, Elder Lawya, we were talking about this in one of our meetings concerning the weather. The weather. And that's why the Most High say, no matter what goes down in the earth, stay on the 364-day calendar. Okay? Because the weather in of itself isn't going to be indicative concerning what time we're in. But the Sabbath never changes. So, in lieu of that, brothers and sisters, before going into the lesson, I said, Elder Lawya, we need to go into the book of Enoch. Because Enoch, well before the flood, Enoch the righteous told us exactly what we would be experiencing weather-wise in the very end of times. At the very end of times, Enoch expressly told us exactly what we're experiencing right now. Well, is it spring or is it summer? It's 80 degrees today, right? On the East Coast. Last year, REI and other people brothers called me from Texas and say, Elder, it's weird over here. It's snowing. I'm like, okay, everybody get a little snow. He says, no, Elder, it's snowing. It doesn't snow like this in Texas. So we cannot be ignorant, brothers and sisters, of the times. And I said, you know what? It's in the book of Enoch. Let's go there real quick, Elder Lawya, to give an explanation to our brothers and sisters to understand the weather. The weather. Right? And see, and this is why it's always important, brothers and sisters, and I'm going to deal with that with the Secrets of the Times lesson this academy. Right? Because it seems as if, believe it or not, I was living in a time as a Hebrew. Let me make this clear. When there was no debate at all concerning the times of the year concerning holy days. Not one debate. It doesn't matter who the Hebrews were. It could be the Hebrews who don't believe in Christ, the Hebrews who believe in Christ, right? Different doctrinal Hebrews. It could have been Prophet Cherry or the Commandment Keepers of Chicago. There was never a debate concerning time. Why? Everyone went off of the Jewish calculation. There was no question in Jewish people. Whatever the rabbis told them, it was what? It was the gospel truth. I've never seen Israelites debate time until the Most High gave us the 364-day calendar. Which is really what he gave Moses and Enoch and all the prophets from the beginning. And now that we're following that calendar according to times, and it's showing, well, their Passover is nowhere near ours. Now it's this great debate. But we're not debating at all. Finish following what the synagogue of Satan gave you. And you're going to find that you're off. And you cannot go by the season you think you're in. Enoch told us. Let's go there real quick, Elder. In the book of Enoch, let's read that. There, it says, and the leaders of the stars of heaven and all those who turn them their tasks and times and departures. So for those who don't know, folks, when you look out into the sky, right, unless they're putting pollutants and metals out there to block us from seeing it. When you look above the firmament, that's heaven. The stars, the moon, the sun, all these are angelic luminaries. They're not planets. They minister unto who? The image of God on earth. They're out there to serve us. Right? Ranking order. Right? From the heavens. Now, it tells us, he says, Enoch, I've shown you everything. But check this out. What if the earth falls to sin? Then what if? Right? What if? Let me read this real quick. Right? What if the earth falls to sin? Right? Hold on. I have this mouse that's working horribly. Oh my goodness. I'm having this mouse problem again. All right, Elder Lawya. Let's read the second verse on down. I'm going to try to use this mouse as best as I can. And in the days of the sinners, read it. Okay, hold on. They can't hear you. Hold on. Yeah. 1 second. Oh, that's it. All right, say something down, Elder Lawya.
All right, mic check 1 2.
Yeah,
test. Mic check 1 2.
They got it. That's good.
All right. Yes,
All right.
sir.
All right, Elder Lawya, we good. All right, let's start at the first verse again.
All right, the book of Enoch, chapter 80, verse number 1. And in those days the angel Uriel answered and said to me, Behold, I've shown thee everything, Enoch, and I've revealed everything to thee that thou shouldest see, this sun and this moon, and the leaders of the stars of the heaven, and all those who turn them, their task and times and departures.
Their times, their tasks, and departures. So again, thank you all. So, the stars, the sun, the moon, these are all luminaries, celestials ordered by the heavens. So what's going on with the difference in weather, one might ask? Well, if I can get this, hold on. I'm going to try it this way. All right, Elder Lawya, let's read the second verse. I'm going to do it the best I can with this crazy mouse. Read it.
Yes, sir. Verse 2. And in the days of the sinners, the years shall be shortened.
The years shall be shortened in the what? In the years of the sinners. Right? So the normal calculation of time, like it was from the beginning, would change as the earth sins. As iniquity abounds, like Christ says, in the last days, iniquity shall abound. So because iniquity has abounded, you can't look at time the way you used to, because the Most High has given the luminaries a different order. And that order is to shorten the days. See? And in the days of sinners, the years shall be shortened. Go ahead, Elder.
And their seed shall be tardy on their lands and fields.
And their seed shall be tardy. That means late. See that? So what would normally give you a good harvest, because you can't plant, the weather's all over the place, guess what? The seed's going to be tardy. They're not going to produce and yield its strength. What is that? That's right. Less food for what? A seriously populated earth that holds billions. See? Then what?
And all things on the earth shall alter.
All things on the earth shall alter. Read.
And shall not appear in their time. And the rain shall be kept back, and the heavens shall withhold it. And in those times the fruits of the earth shall be backward.
The fruit of the earth shall go backward. Less food. Less food. Now think about the industry, the food industry, that's in the business of feeding seriously concentrated populations, like cities or whatever the case might be. We'll talk about that a little later. And what happens next, Elder Lawya?
Yes, sir. And shall not grow in their time, and the fruits of the trees shall be withheld in their time.
Read.
And the moon shall alter her order.
Say that again.
And the moon shall alter her order.
So if the moon is altering her order, how can you follow the seasons according to God for holy days using just the moon? Now, it's enough that the moon comes up 10 days early every year. But as sin abound, the moon, that thing, what we thought would give us the normal 30 days for 6 months, 30 days for 29 days for 6 months. No. She's going to alter her order. So what you would normally look for that time of year, the moon is going to show you something different. Huh? So everybody looking at us like, why did we do our Passover when we did it? Y'all better think again. The Most High gave us the order of the time according to Sabbaths. That's why. We're not going to sit there and try to calculate and do all these other things because we did that years ago to put us on order with the Sabbaths. We don't have to do it again. See? And the moon shall alter her order in what?
And not appear at her time.
And not appear at her time. See? What time? The calculation when it comes to the beginning of the year. She's going to show something different. And check this out. 5.
And in those days the sun shall be seen, and he shall journey in the evening on the extremity of the great chariot in the west.
Read.
And shall shine more brightly than accords with the order of light.
Come on.
And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress their order prescribed, and these shall alter their orbits and task, and not appear at the seasons prescribed to them.
And not appear at the seasons prescribed to them. Because usually the Manassites were good at this. You can look in the sky, see the constellations, and know exactly when to plant, all of that, what seasons would change and all of that, as well as when to harvest. See? But people are going to be looking up there and say, well, okay, I don't know what the sky's saying right now, and decide to do nothing. See? Why? 7.
And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners.
It shall be concealed from the sinners. But those who can see, who's following the truth and keeping the law, it's not going to be concealed from us. Right? How do you know? Because the Most High gave us the order according to Sabbath. We don't care what you're seeing up there, because guess what? What you're seeing up there is what the Most High wants you to see. And if you're not on time with Sabbath, what's out there in the sky will confuse you. See? And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, but not if you're following the time that was given to Enoch. See? And what?
And the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them.
Read.
And they shall be altered from all their ways. Yea, they shall err and take them to be gods.
So what will happen? This is why the Most High began to change the seasons and all that. Why? Because the luminaries that were there for us to minister unto us and to help us and guide us on earth, men began to worship nature and take those stars in the heaven in nature as gods. See? Men started worshiping Mars, Venus, all the sun, the moon. See? So through that era, the Most High said, okay, I'm going to twist time, and the only way you will figure it out is to find my son who will put you back on it. 8.
And evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them, so as to destroy all.
And punishment shall come upon them, so as to what? Destroy all. See, that's God's plan right there. So when I seen that, I read that. Well, we read that weeks ago. But I understand. Hey, it's springtime, but it'll be like winter one day, summer the next day. But I know what time we are according to the 364-day schedule. See? Because the Most High also gave that to Enoch, so that the righteous would not be confused in the end of days. See? But those who are not following the Most High are confused. Like I said earlier, brothers and sisters, I've never seen Hebrews ever debate the time of year for Passover, when the Jewish people gave it to them. See? I mean, the same religion, predominantly a religion that don't believe in Christ at all. All right? So let me put that out there. Now, it also tells us in the book of Jubilees that because people would begin to follow what? The moon instead of 364, that all the seasons will be out of whack in the last days, aligning with exactly what Enoch was shown. Moses was shown the same thing. Now, before going into the lesson, all praises be to the Most High. I see some familiar faces out there. Please hit the like button and always support the church. Let me tell y'all, brothers and sisters, what we'll be going into for this week's Hebrew and Bible Academy before going into the lesson. Elder Lawya, the topic this week?
Yes, sir. The topic for this week will be, who is Edom?
Who is Edom? Now, we're going to take we're going to go into some of the history, the original history of Edom. But this iteration of the Academy, we're going to focus on the history leading to the Romans and the chronology of Rome, from Rome to America. Who is Edom? Folks, Edom is the cunning hunter. And I'm going to go into that this academy. On every level, you must understand Esau. Edom is the cunning hunter. There's so many levels to a hunter. The greatest power of a hunter is psychological. Psychological. They can set traps and have you fall into it, and you won't even know Esau set the trap. Right? Now, I'm not going to go into it tonight, but this coming Friday, because Elder Lawya, let me put this up here. Elder Lawya, last year doing Patreon, for the last couple of years, I've been going into how the liberal system, the Marxist system, intentionally used the law to separate black men from black women, only to make people believe that black women were getting empowered, but it was to expose these sisters to the hunters. That was the plan. They'll set a trap. And you won't even know Esau planned the whole thing. Esau planned the whole thing. Esau, the cunning hunter, will be the theme for this academy. And I mean, this week's lesson, okay? Who's Edom? One thing about Edom, it doesn't matter what the situation, he's in power at all times. Okay? Number one, when you think about the character of the Joker, the whole character of the Joker, that's Esau. Okay? He also wants to present himself as Superman. That's Esau. But his greatest gift is what? Setting traps. Thank you, Caesar. Setting traps. Who is Edom? Now, for the last couple of years, I've been warning people about this and saying, hey, they're looking to get the DNA from sisters. They're using DMs and all that to fly sisters out and all that. Be careful. Okay. Esau's he's a different beast altogether. Okay. Jake, we understand that there's two separate rules. We can't do what Esau do and get away with it. Okay. If we do anything, guess what? The hammer, the foot immediately is placed on us, which makes, a lot of what Esau would get away with. Hey, the law is our deterrent. We don't want none of what comes with the law, breaking it, understanding that Esau will throw the book at Judah in particular, or black men in particular, right? But I'm not going to go into that today, but I'm going to talk about it Sunday. But also, Elder Lawya, also for Patreon, I'll be back on Patreon this Friday. I will be here. And Elder Rawchaa and I is going to do a late Patreon type deal for Friday. Okay? And what we're going to talk about, that's right, folks. Let me show y'all this. We're going to talk about that this coming Friday. What you see on your screen right here. We're going to talk about this. Right? And right now, what I'm showing you on the screen should be a case study. Should be a case study. What do I mean by that? Well, everyone is talking about it out there. This influencer, Elder Lawya, I don't know if you heard about it, Ashley Janae, she goes to, I think, Zambia and was found hung, right? And I couldn't help, may the Most High bless her soul, may the Most High bring justice to this. But what I couldn't help but notice is how quiet the media, the mainstream media, is with this. Right? She goes over, she rents a place. This guy don't even pay for anything. For this online persona, moves this girl into a third world country where what? The rules are entirely different over there compared to America. And she comes up dead. Esau, the cunning hunter. And you notice there's really no media outrage with this. Unless we're talking about it. I even went online with Google and tried to get some pictures. You rarely see this guy's face in any of the pictures she's involved in. The story that they broke with this, Elder Lawya, they only show his picture one time. You have to understand how programming works with this. They only show this picture one time. And then I couldn't help but think, Elder Lawya, what would be the story, Elder Lawya? You give me your opinion. What would be the story behind this if this sister went to Africa with a black man, came up dead? What would be the story?
Most likely, it would be more confirmation of the whole narrative of black women are least protected, and more so least protected in the company or the presence of another black man. That will most likely be the narrative.
Yeah, but can you imagine the 24-hour circulation of media attention that would be given to this? Only if it's just to put a greater wedge between the black man and the black woman.
Right.
Around the clock. His face would be up there. It'll be dark and all that. And they'll have to go into his past and all this stuff. You would have these white nut job liberals putting flowers and doing vigils and all of that for the sister. So I'm going to be talking about this on Patreon this Friday. Because if you really want to get rid of the children of God, you must focus on the womb that delivered the prophets. See? They don't got to fight the man. If they can get to the woman and stop her womb from producing God's people. Or, hey, and guess what, folks? I'm going to tell you. You can forget about it. These third world countries, the story can be whatever they agreed upon. The police are corrupt, all of that. The government in those particular areas, when it comes to the magistrates, they're corrupt. There's nothing to pay these people off to write a report. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. And I'm going to be talking about that. Esau, the cunning hunter. If you're going to get away with something, hey, taking someone to a third world country. And I'm not saying he did it. I don't know. Everything they're saying could be true. But Esau's a cunning hunter. Okay? And unfortunate, and I'm going to be talking about that this Friday. And guess what? Everything that I'm talking about is in the Bible. It's in the Bible, folks. So I know a lot of people are trying to give this sister a hard time, Elder, talking about divest her and some of the things she said online and all this. Folks, let me tell you, that's one thing about online. Every last person who's living have said something and put something out there that they would regret if people knew what they said back then. That's everybody. Everyone has spoken out of turn, or while they was feeling a certain type of way, said something they shouldn't have said. Okay, but the internet won't let it. Hey, the internet is undefeated. But you want to go back to what she said about black men and all that. How many times brothers have said something, negative about sisters, but they know they still love sisters. But the anger at that moment, that's what the man was expressing at that moment. I just want to put that out there real quick. So I'm not here with talking about her sentiments of divestors or whatever the case is. I'm just dealing with it from a different angle, brothers and sisters. To say a trap was set. And that trap is psychological. If you can separate a person from their protector, now she's vulnerable. She's vulnerable to be destroyed and what? Discarded. That's the point. And I just wanted to put that out there. I don't want to talk about that too much because really, we're going to deal with that Friday. We're going to deal with that Friday. But I need y'all to check out, folks, how on cold the international media is and the American media is with this. How on cold. Guess what? They're not going to say much. You know, and guess what? You can expect him to get off from this. You can expect it. And the story going to go away, and there's going to be some divester conversation next year as if this never happened. But this is how Esau set a trap to destroy the daughters of Zion. Okay, and you have a lot of these neo-Nazis, Ku Klux Klans, all these crazy skinhead type of weirdos out there. And guess what? They target our sisters. And I'm going to talk about that Friday. This is Ramar here. Let's see. Okay. And again, I'm going to say this. I don't know what happened. There's alleged accusations out there. I don't know what happened. All I know is that she was found hung. And the majority of the things out there is alleged, right? Only thing I can say is allegedly. But hey, let's see if he go to jail. Let's see if anything happens. We'll see. All right. Elder Lawya, let's jump right in. All right.
Yes, sir.
Let's jump right in. We're right on time. The end of an empire. The fall of an empire, then a famine. The fall of an empire, then a famine. All right. Now, how do you know an empire is in trouble? Thank you, Sister Serena. Bless you. How do you know when an empire is in trouble? Fair use. For educational purposes and prophetic purposes only. This is when, Elder Lawya, you know an empire is in trouble. When your president, the president of the United States, does and says things like this.
Right now at 9 o'clock, President Trump is publicly criticizing Pope Leo over his stance on the war in Iran. Listen to what he said minutes ago after getting off Air Force One.
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. We don't like it. We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime.
Trump also said on Truth Social tonight that if he wasn't in the White House, Pope Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. This is all in response to the Pope's rebuke of the war yesterday. He said that a, quote, delusion of omnipotence is driving the conflict. Pope Leo has also urged President Trump to look for an off-ramp to the conflict in Iran.
So let's examine this for a second.
Getting off Air Force One.
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. We don't like it. We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon.
Now, Elder Lawya, examine this for a second, right? When have you ever seen the President of the United States denigrate its spiritual leader, the Pope?
Me personally, I've never seen it. Not to say that it hasn't happened. I don't know. But in recent history, as long as I lived, I've never witnessed it myself.
I have never witnessed it. A matter of fact, it's outright disrespect But what it's showing is a crack in the armor, where Esau has begun to turn on Esau. You don't disrespect your spiritual leader. Okay? Not publicly anyway. See, there's a code amongst them. You can feel what you want to say. You want to say what you want to say behind closed doors. Knock down, drag out fights, arguments, and political discourse to get to solution. But you don't do this publicly. Especially denigrating the empire who created you. See, Esau is not going to take this lightly. What we're seeing is Revelation 17 play out in real time. Straight disrespect. Yeah, there's a crack in the armor. See, you have to realize the political alliances as well as the spiritual alliances for an empire goes hand in hand. Right? And what's great about this, Elder Lawya, is that the children of Israel, we're just sitting back with popcorn, watching the whole thing go down. They're going against their own spiritual leader. He called them all types of names. I believe that this was the, I think this was the PG version of what he actually said against the Pope. Right? So let's talk about this. Because it seems, allegedly, that most people out there are thinking that Trump has become unhinged. That a lot of people out there believe this. You have even Christians have jumped ship. Right? I've never seen Christians out there saying, well, hold up, we don't believe in the dispensationalism. All the stuff we've been teaching for years, the white Christians are teaching now, Elder Lawya.
Right. Right.
I'm going to tell you, they're going to say everything. Esau, Elder Lawya, is going to say everything up until what? Up until the fact that they have to admit that the slaves who were brought here are actually from the lost sheep of Israel. Their genealogy goes directly to the people in the Bible. They'll admit everything up until that line, right? Up until they get right there. Oh, that's a step too far. We'll admit everything else, even though we're ear hustling at night, listening to all their lessons. But we're going to admit everything up until that line. We ain't crossing that line to tell everyone, hey, that these blacks are actually the chosen people. Now, that's a step too far now. Now, getting back on point here. So Europe, Elder Lawya, the Europeans for months have been taking stances to separate themselves from the United States of America. Right? They're taking steps. EU wants possible action after U.S. barred 5 European accused of censorship. So there's a war between Europe, who is the 10 horns, and America. And the 10 horns, which is Rome, they're seeking to cut bait only to let what? America sink itself. And this is why it doesn't matter what type of treaties or agreements Trump may align with, may do with Iran. That's right. The state of Israel don't care if America makes a treaty or an agreement with Iran, because what? They'll break it. Israel will break any treaty, any alliance that America makes, so to sink America. That's the plan. Because the Europeans, the Ten Horns, feels that what? America has grown beyond itself and have forgotten the Ten Horns who created her. And I'm going to be talking about that. Who's Esau? The pride of Esau. Let's talk about that, Elder Lawya, before going into how they're strategically doing this to starve America out. Let me tell y'all this, brothers and sisters. Listen to me and listen to me good. We've been talking about this for years. There's no way you can go into a war with Iran. No way. They've already done what? The war games on this. There's no way you can go into a war with Iran without what? Strangling the economy that leads to a famine here in America. They've already did the war games on this. They know the domino effect economically for America if they go to war with Iran. They knew this. So how do you take down a standing army of 300 million people with almost every person armed with a weapon? That's a standing army. Who can fight an army of 100 million people? Well, what you got to do is you got to bring in a biochemist and come through and get rid of a lot of the population by having them through some bioweapon, allegedly. Get rid of, slowly knock out 10 to 20% of them, if not more. Then replace them with immigrants who want to see America falls based on the destruction America have done to their countries. Right? That's how you do it. And then you fight the war of all wars. A war that has listen to me clearly, brothers and sisters. There's no way you can fight Iran and have America escape a famine. Impossibility. And they know it. Impossibility. So this is how you fight a standing army that has the freedom of speech and freedom to defend their speech by bearing arms. You go to a war that would lead to pulling the rug right up from under comfortable Americans. And this is when the prophecy of the Bible pops off, folks, because they're going to do EMPs. They're going to do many things and blame on Iran. They just need the war to pop off so they can use it as a smokescreen to do everything else. And at the same time, when they do it, they're going to say Iran did this, Iran did that, Iran did this. And how do we know this? Because the same modus operandi we witnessed in Desert Storm, that we witnessed during the time of when they went against Libya, Saddam Hussein, it's the same plan. They bring in outsiders and claim it's a civil war. And now, guess what? They get the political outcome intended by blaming it on others. But they cannot do this without what? Without the optics of an enemy or a war enemy to blame it on. Folks, and that's why, hey, for the last 2 days, I woke up, prayed, went to the bathroom, put on my white scrub things over my clothes, and I went and I start digging that ground. Start digging that ground, raking, getting the ground ready for as much as the Most High is going to bless us with food. Okay, it's time to put potatoes, carrots, onions, stuff that we can make soups with in the ground. Soups can spread out. Grain to make bread. You do not go to war with Iran And folks, they've already done the war game. I got a video I'm going to show in a moment. They know what happens. And guess what? Israel, the state of Israel, which is really Eastern Europeans who are a part of the 10 horns. They're on the Pope side, folks. So the Bible tells us about this what? The pride of Esau. And guess what? This week is Esau's week. Who's Edom? Elder Lawya, let's go to the book of Obadiah. The book of Obadiah. Small little book. I'll never forget, Elder Lawya, coming out of the Christian church, and now I'm sitting amongst my Hebrew brethren, and I'm sitting there. I swore I knew the Bible. They talking about, yeah. By the way, go to the book of Obadiah. I said, Oba who? I'll never forget that night sitting in class with my Bible open. And they said, get the book of Obadiah. And my response was, I'm sitting there, I used, a little joker, cracking jokes and all. And I looked next to my brother next to me. I said, Oba who? What Bible are they reading? Oba who? So that made me, Elder Lawya, because guess what? You're not going to tell me I don't know the Bible. I'm in the Christian church. Man, I went home and took me a pen and some tape. And I went through each book using the table of contents and wrote it down and made tabs all the way through my Bible. I'm like, y'all not going to get me like this no more. How to Hades, I have pastors going all the way back to slave ships. And I'm sitting here in a class thinking I know the Bible as a Christian and never heard of the book Obadiah. I said, Oba who? But as I read it, Elder Lawya, now I realize why the Christian church never taught us the book of Obadiah. Because it would expose who's running the world. Who's running, who have set up our political construct. Hey, no. I tell you what, only thing y'all teach is salvation and Jesus' love. Don't go into the book of Obadiah. Folks, when you see the book of Obadiah, it's clearly you can see Trump in the book of Obadiah. Okay? You can see the so-called royal family of England in the book of Obadiah. Your political untouchables. When you read the book of Obadiah, there's no doubt that it's talking about one particular people. Elder Lawya, let's read this vision of Obadiah 1:1.
Yes, sir. The book of Obadiah 1 verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God, concerning Edom.
Concerning Edom. Now, why does it say, Elder Lawya, concerning Edom? Because, the Bible tells us that Esau would begin to what? Call lands after their own names or after his names. He would begin to rename stuff. Right? So here it is. This is what? This is the vision of Obadiah concerning a nation, a race of people who were called Edomites or Edomites. Okay? The Bible don't call these people white people or Caucasian people. See? So these people have a biblical name. So in order to understand who we're talking about, you have to know who's Edom. Because they hid themselves by renaming everything or assimilating amongst other people, hiding under their history. Like these $5 Indians we see in the United States. You go to meet a chief. Elder Lawya, you go to meet, thank you, El Dorado. You go to meet a Indian chief, a Cherokee chief, right? You're like, man, you look like John Travolta. When did you become Gad? Right? It's like, this guy.
Right.
What's going on here? Tom Cruise is a chief of a whole tribe now? So you understand? So Esau is good at assimilating, right? Studying others' culture and assimilating into it. So you have to recognize and try to figure out who's Edom, because he have what? Hid himself amongst all races of people. But guess what? He can't hide himself, because it doesn't matter where he is and what he studied. You'll always find him at the top of it before it's over. Okay? Because that was the plan the whole time. Okay? It wasn't about him becoming a Cherokee Indian. It was about him running the Cherokee Indians. See?
That's right.
So he'll study you. Right? Well, his plan is not to be amongst you or to respect the culture he's learning. No. He study you to find what? The inconsistencies, the faults, the vulnerabilities, what he can expose to one day rule over you. See? So they never wanted us to read this book called the Book of Obadiah, folks. Folks, this book, folks, is only one page in the Bible. Think about this, folks. It's only the Book of Obadiah. Look, there's only one chapter, folks. I'm going to show y'all this. Look at this. There's only one chapter in the Book of Obadiah. You would think that they would just allow us to read this one chapter in the Christian church, folks. It's so groundbreaking. It's so exposing when it comes to pointing out Esau that they said, you know what? We're not even going to teach this in our theologian schools, even though it's only one chapter. Right? Let's read it, Elder.
Obadiah verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her and battle.
So it says an ambassador is sent amongst the heathen. Heathen are the Gentile races Esau is in confederacy with. These are all the nations who have aligned themselves in a confederacy, and with that agreement, they all rule over the who? 12 tribes of Israel. That's the agreement. Esau is the head of it, but all of them agree to benefit from what? The cursed people who went against their God, written in the Old Testament. All of these Gentile nations are in agreement that they can benefit from the 12 tribes of Israel who built Egypt. See? But now, an ambassador is sent amongst the heathen and arise ye and say, listen, we're not with this agreement. That ambassador is not Gumnonasa. That's a false narrative. The ambassador that's sent among the heathen and say, we'll fight him, we'll fight Edom. Folks, that's Iran. Iran is the ambassador amongst all the Gentile nations who are saying, what? I don't care what the agreement is. We'll fight him. How do you know this? I'm going to show you all this coming Sabbath. It goes straight to what? Isaiah, the 13th chapter. The rest of the nations are scared. And Iran is saying, well, no, we will be the ambassadors. This is what Iran is saying. We'll represent the empire of justice in the end days. Now, Iran don't know. They know what they know. But Iran can never outsmart Edom. Okay? Iran is just a proxy to take out America. So that Europe can become the next superpower over America. See? So this is why, that's right, the state of Israel is goading and instigating this war, regardless of America's politics. Because Iran is not trying to take out Europe. Iran is focused on taking out America and all its allies in the Middle East who have aligned themselves with America. Iran see the Middle Easterns, the United Emirates, as what? You got it. Traitors to the Muslim state. We're going to quantify this thing for y'all tonight. It's going down, okay? Hit that like button. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Read.
Verse 2. Behold, I've made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
I've made thee small among the heathen. The Most High did. Out of all races of people, the white race is what? The smallest race compared to any other race or nation of people. But what they do, they'll get into a country and concentrate themselves together in an area and multiply and become the majority. And how do they become the majority? Well, they become the majority if you allow them to rename everybody into separate groups. See, I don't care if you call them Irish white. I don't care if you call them Polish white. I don't care if you call them Jewish white. I don't care if you call them Russian white. What they all gonna, when they all come together in a condensed area, what are they? White. So that makes them the majority. Okay? But if they can, through politics, separate people along any lines and have the control to do so, and say, well, guess what? No, you're not the 12 tribes of Israel together. No, you're black. You're Hispanic. See? Or you're Dominican. See? Oh, you're Haitian. See? You're Puerto Rican. See? Oh, you're Cuban. See? See, they got the power to rename people into separate groups because if you identify that group and you identify with that group, you automatically become a minority compared to white people. You see that mind job right there? Even though we're the same people. So automatically, they must use what? Psychological warfare to make us believe that there's more of them than us. Well, no, there isn't. We've just been divided and identified as a low minority group. And guess who set that whole program up to make you believe that we were the minority? The minority. Right? I need y'all to think about that. All day they call us minorities. And I'm like, well, hold up. What type of psyop is this? The Bible says, behold, I have made them, Esau, small among the heathen. That means if you compare white people as a race in comparison to the other races in the Bible, they are the smallest race on earth. And then they'll divide you not just on cultural, racial lines. Then they'll even go to the point where, you know what, let's divide them according to sexuality. I mean, what type of nonsense is that? That someone is identifying based on what they do privately in their own beds. Straight nonsense. But as long as you identify with that, now you have separated yourself even further from what? A majority group you were a part of that can oppose Esau. See? He's greatly despised. Read on.
The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Another clue. Who was in the rocks? The Caucasus Mountains. Even Alexander the Greek. He was known, he was coming down a mountain actually with leopard skin, and his horse had leopard on it. He would have secret meetings in caves. Then you go all the way back to Mount Seir, where Esau connected with the Canaanite god, Satan himself. Folks, and y'all can say what y'all want, think what you want. That God is Yahweh. Do the research. Yahweh is the God of the Shashu. Now, usually we do a lot of this in the academy, but I'm dealing with the academy who's Esau from a different angle this Sunday, so I can show you a little bit what we talk about anyway. Right? Look at this. Yeah, right. I'm gonna show y'all. Right? For some reason, when you type things in, it goes straight to AI, but I'm gonna go to the irregular page. The Shashu of Yahweh refers to an early nomadic group mentioned in the 14th to 13th century BCE West. Egyptian inscriptions found in Solib and Amara West, which means Yahweh was in Egypt during the time that who? You got it. That Moses was in Egypt. So Yahweh isn't the name that was shown to Moses. Now you go to the Shashu here. These are Edomites. See? Look at this. Tell me that guy don't like Justin Timberlake right there. Cry me a river, you can go on and just. Shashu. And who is Shashu? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. The 14th century cult of Yahweh had reached Israel, groups of Edomites and Midianites. Listen, worship Yahweh as their God. Huh? Cry me a river. Yahweh, the cult of Yahweh was set up by Esau when he went up into Mount Seir worshiping Satan. Yah is God. Hova is mischievous one, fallen one. And that's the God of the Tetragrammaton. Thank you, Will C. See that? Now you see why the enemy would love to go against the church in the work. We've exposed the God that's worshiped amongst Jewish people as well as Hebrews. And they'll swear by Yahweh without understanding its history. Huh? Yahweh is the God that Esau dealt with in Mount Seir from the land of Canaan. The Shashu the Shashu, Esau. So you can't tell me that Moses received the name Yahweh when it was already in Egypt. Yahuwah is another name, Elder Lawyer, for the Tetragrammaton, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's another pronunciation according to the vowel points.
Okay. Now, Elder Lawyer, if you will, let's go back to the book of Obadiah. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. We get a chance, Elder. Read it.
Yes, sir. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Now, as you can see, Donald Trump, one thing I can respect about Donald Trump, he's operating in the full authority of Edom. And he's unapologetic about it. And that's why, guess what? I can respect a politician who's what? Who say exactly what's on his mind. Because the majority of the politicians out there, they're saying one thing but doing another. Right? And I'm going to tell you one thing about this Trump. He's unapologetic. Whatever he feels, he's calling the Pope all types of names. Okay? Right? And he's doing what he's doing. I've never heard somebody get up one morning and get on the news and say, we're going to totally obliterate this country. We're going to move them back into the Stone Age and there'll be nothing left. No men, women, or children if they don't make an agreement by 8 o'clock tonight.
Right.
If that's not rash, I don't know what is. Right? So, I mean, you talk about a God that's full of pride. But it says the pride of his heart have deceived him. Hit that like button, folks. Thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rocks, whose habitation is high, Caucasus Mountains, Mount Seir, the mountains in Eastern Europe, who said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Who can oppose me? Is what Esau said. Like the example I can show you about what just happened to that beautiful sister over there in Africa. Who you think? Guess what? Who think that sister going to get justice? Esau's like, hey, who can bring me? Who can judge me when this is my setup? That's what Esau's saying. And check it out, Esau. Check out how Esau work, Elder Lawyer. Right? I'm going to show you how prideful Esau is. He said, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take your woman into a predominantly black country. Okay? Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know what, there's a lot of alleged things out there, but I know he had no problem in leaving a black woman that he claimed to love in a black country dead, knowing that he can get on a plane with no opposition. Now tell me that's not some pride. Like, yeah, this would happen. He claimed she hung herself and say, well, and I know the police were saying, we got to do an investigation. And Esau was like, go ahead, do your investigation. Give me my passport. And guess what? I'm going to be on first class, chilling, going back to America. And he know he can do that in a black country and get no pushback. See? Esau's like, I write the rules here. You see the skin I'm in? Give me my passport, huh? All right. Give me my passport. As a matter of fact, on my way to the airport, make me a cocktail and put an umbrella in it. Okay? That's how prideful Esau is. He can go into a predominantly black country, have a sister die there, and get on a plane and not have to worry about nothing. Check that out. And guess what? I bet you there's no sweat on him at all. He'll probably do the thing, you know, the tearful thing when the cameras are rolling. Right? That's why I say Esau, he's something else. Who shall bring me down to the ground? Esau's like, listen, I'm in control. A lot of people think that the white woman is in control. No, the white man has always been in control. This is his empire. I mean, I'm saying, Lawya, I'm seeing some stuff I never thought was possible. Right? I'm looking at one of the more, maybe I'll talk about this Friday. One of the most beautiful women of our generation. Halle Berry. Can you imagine? Halle Berry is paying child support to a white man. I'm like, I mean, what of this world? I'm like, what? Boo. Esau's like, I'm running this. The rules are different for me. Okay. I'm like, where they do that at? Right? I'm like, whoa. Man, Esau, man, I'm going to tell you, he's something else. He's like, listen, this is my stuff. Who shall bring me down to the ground? And guess what? Let me tell you, this embodies Trump. We got the greatest military. We got the greatest this. We got the greatest that. We do what we want. Oh, you got something to say? We're going to put tariffs on you. We're going to tax everybody. He kind of remind me of Augustus Tiberius when it comes to his political thing. Tiberius was about taxing everybody. We got a disagreement? Tax it. Right. Thank you, Anton Barrett. All praises. Y'all really are supporting. I really appreciate you all. Who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou what, Elder?
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
As the what?
As the eagle. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Oh, shucks. But guess what, Esau? You have a problem. Our God, and his name is Ahiah. The Most High says, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and when you start putting your space junk out in heaven, that will be the beginning of the end of your empire. And ever since they began to build stuff out there beyond the firmament, this empire have been coming down ever since. And it started with what? It started with the Most High waking up the tribe of Judah right here up under your noses. That's where it started. When it says, thence shall he bring you down? Well, in the womb of our mother Rebekah, when Esau came out first, Jacob took hold of Esau's heel. And guess what? All we had to do was figure out who we were. And when we got the truth and understood who we were, we began to expose the lies Esau have always hid behind, whether it be his American watered down white history or his fake satanic Jesuit Christian theology. It was Judah exposing it all, exposing him as the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain with no power. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Thank you, Elder Rawchaa, for your news that you showed this last academy. I just had to, Elder Lawya, put this out there again because it was so deep and apropos for the book of Obadiah. What is this? To let you know that they're planning for the fall of America. Thank you, Elder Rawchaa. Thank you, Elder Rawchaa. Well, this was in our news. For those in the academy, go to historytimes.org to enroll. You can still be a part of it. Whose Edom is going to be blown out of the water this Sunday. So what's going on over in England? Golden Eagles return to English skies, gets government backing. So they're taking down the eagle from America and bringing it back to the 10 horns, Rome. They're snatching America's eagle card. They say, nah, we made America. We're going to take down America. And now the world going to understand who was the eagle before the Pope, Rome, and the 10 horns created America. We're going to show y'all. It's in the Bible that America was made out of 3 of the 10 horns. Huh? So golden eagles returned to English skies, gets government backing. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. And you know how, Elder Lawya, I can see the eagle snatched right up from under America, right? Usually when it comes to the United States Post Office, right? The eagle is their emblem, correct, Elder? The eagle.
Right. Yep, that's correct.
Yeah. So I had to go to the church today and grab a camera that AC sent. I have it with me now. We have to work it out. Very nice camera. And on my way, I noticed that, I noticed some stuff. Some anomalous things that I just logged. Some things I don't think about at all, but this just stood out at me. There's a truck, has the eagle on it and all that, United States Postal Service. And guess who gets out of the driver's seat to put the mail into mailboxes? I'm looking. It was a full bred, all due respect, East Indian. He's driving a truck with the eagle on it. And it's immigrants here in the United States driving all of the government jobs that used to belong to United States citizens. And I'm like, man, is that not ironic? The fact that they got the eagle there, and the eagle is fallen because they've replaced all of the people who made America what it is with those of other pedigrees and cultures. That's how you what? Destroy the culture of an empire. You snatch its spirit. And I'm seeing this guy get out of a truck with the eagle, and East Indian jumps out of the truck and start delivering packages. I'm like, man, this is deep. And at the same time, this particular article comes to mind that Rawchaa showed Sunday. Let me tell you, Esau is big on symbolism. He's very big on that. And for those who are actually watching this story, why would this be news in England? How did this become news? I'm like, who would even think about this, right? Who cares? English skies, golden eagles return to English skies, gets government backing. Well, they wouldn't show this in their news unless they were planning on killing the eagle. That's America. See? Unless they were going to destroy the eagle, which is what? America's emblem. See? They're very symbolic with that. Very symbolic, right? Now, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it now. Let's get into it. All right? I need y'all to listen to this. There's an expert on the Iranian war. He was a guest on the Diary of a CEO. I'm gonna tell you, this brother on the Diary of a CEO, man. He's one of the better interviewers I've seen. But I'll tell you, he always asks the perfect questions. So he asked outright the strategists and others who have history in understanding the rise and fall of empires. What happens if they continue in this war with Iran? What will come of America? And I don't have to tell you, it's everything that the Most High has been showing us for years. Let me tell you, if people thought that they weren't prepared for when they came with that psyop on television telling everyone to stay in their homes, that watch out for this thing from Wuhan, China. If the people of America in particular, if you think you weren't prepared for that, you are definitely not going to be prepared for what comes if they continue this war in Iran. And guess what? The war never stopped. Okay? So we're going to take some pieces from this. I'm going to keep it still so that no one can, I want to make sure I say fair use in others so not to get a strike. But it was some key information that, brothers and sisters, you all need to be aware of. And not just be aware of it, act on what you're actually getting here. Do not sit on your hands and believe that the Most High is going to guide you through something that you didn't prepare for. The Most High doesn't work like that. Okay? If that's the case, when he showed Joseph, like I showed y'all in that class, the 7-year famine, the 7-year plenteous, and the 7-year famine, Joseph had to do something. He didn't say, well, I got the God of all gods, the God of Abraham. Surely that we're all going to eat. No. He said, listen, this is what the earth will produce, and this is how you can benefit from it if you get in front of it. But the Most High is going to bring forth the prophecy regardless. This is going to make the coronavirus and COVID look like a walk in the park, because one thing people didn't have to worry about was a lack of food. The inconveniences that we were getting was, well, I can't go into my favorite restaurant that has food unless I wear a mask. Right? That's the inconvenience we were dealing with. There was food, but you have to deal with these stupid, ridiculous rules they were putting out there, playing with the people. Right? But let me tell you, I would rather be in a scenario where I have to wear a mask, a stupid mask, to get to a table where my food would come, than have it where there's no mask and no food. Right? So we're going to come back. I'm going to play a few of these, and we have it queued up, the minutes that are ready. Hold tight. We'll be right back with You Got It. We'll be right back with the fall of an empire, the famine. One moment. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.
We follow you guys on YouTube.
All praises be to the Most High. Talk to me.
Yes, I'll praise you, God. My question is, do you guys have a church in Roanoke, Virginia, or near Roanoke where we can go? We can go to one of you guys' church. We're trying to relocate to be near like-minded family. We don't have a church here in Roanoke.
Okay, I can really connect you with the DMV body there. You can choose which of the churches you would like to go to.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. What is your name?
New Courtney.
Hold on.
You can go to one of you guys' church. We're trying to relocate.
Do me a favor. Cut off, mute the YouTube real quick for me.
We don't have a
Okay, I can really connect you with the DMV.
Hey, sister, can you mute?
Okay.
Can
Yeah,
you mute the YouTube? Thank you.
Okay.
Hold on. Your timing is impeccable. You scheduled that right. Yeah. So you knew we was going to commercial. You said, "Let me call real quick," right?
Because I said, I just wanted to make sure I got a chance to speak with someone. So as soon as you guys went to commercial, I just went ahead and called.
Your timing is impeccable, sister. And I'm going to tell you right now, sister, there's no better time. There's no better time than the time we're living in right now for you to be reaching out.
Yes.
Right? Today, like even yesterday, I woke up early in the morning and I'm tilling the ground. I'm getting the ground ready. I got my seeds ready. We're going to do some planting. I mean, sister, the Most High blessed us with a place where we can have animals and all these things. So it's time. And above all, it's to get with like-minded people in the spirit of the Almighty who can pray together, because we're going to need prayer through this, right?
Yes.
Okay, those children should be asleep. What time it is?
They should be asleep. They won't go to It's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, you got your babies operating like that?
Well, no, look, their bedtime is at 7.
Where they father at?
I didn't hear you.
Where the dad at?
Dad's at work.
Hey, let me tell you, when I was growing up, I'm gonna tell you, my father go next to this belt where that belt buckle was. It's time to tighten something up around here.
They normally do good. They normally sleep at 8:30. So I don't know why they're up tonight.
Hey, listen, sister, they showing out because dad ain't there. You're gonna have to, you have to do something. You know what I mean? This time of night. But anyway, let me get your name.
Nick Courtney.
Okay, Nick Courtney. Hold on. Now, Courtney, I'm gonna tell you, your timing was. I mean, you did this thing right between commercials. I have to respect that. So,
I said a prayer about it before I called.
look at that. And I don't usually listen. I don't usually pick up until we're actually past the broadcast with the meat of what we need to bring forth. But it was the Spirit of the Almighty. So I'm gonna give this phone number to the DMV, and I'm gonna have somebody reach out to you, so you and your husband and children can connect with the body. Welcome to the body of Christ.
Thank you.
Okay? Shalom. Bless you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
I have your phone number, so be looking for a call, okay? Make sure you pick up.
I will.
All right, bless you.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
All right, Elder Lawya. Here it is.
All right.
I'm gonna tell you, she that was smooth how she did that, so I had to respect it, you know.
Glad she got through.
Oh yeah, all praises, all praises. All right, so here it is, Elder. Let's go. The diary of a CEO. We're not weakening Iran. So there's some few parts I want to get to, right? A few parts I want to get to here, right? And I'm going to use it still. I'm going to have it still while people hear key parts of this. Fair use for educational purposes only, and prophetic purposes also. Fair use.
Iran, we have strengthened Iran, and we can't stop their drone attacks. And what you're seeing is far more chaotic decision making is happening in the White House than is happening in the government of Iran. And it's evidence Trump is losing power.
So when I look through the response to the last conversation, the audience had lots of different types of questions. Like there's 90 odd million people stuck right in the heart of this that often don't really have a voice. What do you think happens next for them? And what is Israel's role in this?
Well, Israel's playing two roles here that have not helped us correctly assess the situation. And we'll talk about that.
And then what do you think happens with Europe?
NATO is, for all practical purposes, dead.
And what happens next?
So for 21 years, I laid out what a hypothetical bombing campaign of Iran would look like. And when I was here last time...
So there's three separate phases, Elder, in this. And I need you to hear this. You can hear it fine, right?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Great. There's three separate phases that they've already played out in war games. And he'll tell you this is what's going to happen through these three phases if America continue in this war. So it doesn't matter what they're saying to the media here in America to make us believe that everything is fine. It's Iran who's the joker here. Okay, Iran, I mean, and it's Israel, the state of Israel, proxy to the 10 horns, who's the issue. See, a lot of people, Elder, thinks that it's the state of Israel. They keep on saying it's the state of Israel. It's the state of Israel. And guess what? That's intentional. So now you can blame Jewish people in Israel as the boogeyman, or claim that it's a religious war, when a lot of these Jewish people in Israel, these Israeli citizens, a lot of them are secular, atheists, non-believers.
Right.
So now we have to stop looking at the boogeyman they're putting before us, right? Because right now the boogeyman is, and of course I can understand, so the synagogue of Satan, but there's another layer to this, as Esau as the cunning hunter. Who put the Eastern Europeans there? Who put them on boats in 1948? And a lot of these people on boats, they weren't religious Jews who went there to become citizens in Israel. That's documented. They were there to help build the colony, right? Right? So the Balfour Declaration, which was drafted by Lord Balfour, Great Britain, which gave that a place in the Middle East to white people who would have what? A land of their own if they should stake claim as Jewish. Right? So it started from the 10 horns. It started from what? Rome. Great Britain is what? You got it. A faction of the Roman Empire. So without any further ado, let's go. Fair use for educational purposes only. Okay, let me get here. If I can get one layer that shows both of them together. Hold on. It's all good. Yeah, this is good. Fair use, educational purposes only. Okay? I have to keep it still shot, brothers and sisters, for the sake of YouTube guidelines. Okay? Hold on. Right? Let's start here at the 15-minute mark. Fair use for educational purposes only. So there's 3 separate levels to this war and how this war will affect America. Fair use.
Now we're back to...
Hold on. Right here.
What do you think happens next?
We are at a fork in the road. When I was here last time, I was walking you through the 3 stages of the escalation trap, and you kept pushing me, tell me more,
Fair
tell
use.
me more. I was a little bit reluctant to do that. Well, there is a stage 4.
For anyone that didn't hear that episode, could you give us a 1 sentence on stage 1?
Yes, stage 1 is America bombs, does leadership change bombing. We hit targets, kill leaders, but the regime actually evolves and is stronger than before. Stage 2 is that then stronger regime lashes back with horizontal escalation and takes the Strait of Hormuz, at least initially takes the Strait of Hormuz. And then stage 3 is that's the ground option to start to take the Strait of Hormuz back. And that's exactly what you saw play out in the first several weeks of the war. Stage 3 was about the Marines. The Marines hadn't even moved yet. And I'm telling you, the Marines are likely going to move. There's going to be movement to ground options in stage 3 here very rapidly in this war. At that point in time, when we had our first discussion, you wanted to push for the future. And I said, no, we need to wait. And the reason, Stephen, is because what you're not seeing with me is throwing random darts at the future. I'm doing risk assessment out about as far as you can have stable predictions. And in war, that usually means 2, 3, 4 weeks. It doesn't mean we can say where we'll be a year from now. Here, though, now that we're in 40 days, we're at a different point. We've clearly passed stage 1. We're past stage 2, where they control the Strait of Hormuz. We've bellied up to stage 3, the ground operations. Now we're at a branch, a fork in the road. There's no way to go back to February 27, which is the pre-war period that many people would love to go back to. I, too, would like to go back to February 27. That's not the future. What happens at this point on in the modeling is a branch. Either we go through with the ground war, or Iran becomes an emerging, not right away, 4th center of world power. That is the branch that we face now. This branch is becoming more evident hour by hour.
Explain that to me.
So everybody now knows that Iran is controlling the Strait of Hormuz and controlling shipping. That's selective blockade. I'm taking it a step further. That's not just about insurance rates of shipping. That's generating political power for Iran to get other states to kowtow to it, to accept its objectives. What are those objectives? So let's talk about how this affects, say, Asia. So I'm going to get into global, and then we'll come back to the Gulf itself. So the shipping that goes through the Strait of Hormuz, 80 to 90% of it is going right to Asia. The power that comes with that is with, say, India. India is not siding with the United States. India is at best neutral, and maybe even a little bit more edging toward Iran. Well, before this, you could imagine that the United States and India would be much more cooperative here. That's not what's occurring. And why is that? It's because that oil that's going into Asia for India, this isn't just about the price of oil. This is about the supply of oil. When you lose literally all the supply, that is a greater cost than simply having to pay more for it. So India is in a much more difficult situation than Europe and the United States right now. Now look at Japan. Notice in the Oval Office, President Trump brought in the head of state of Japan and basically browbeat her. And she still wouldn't budge. She still would not kowtow to Trump here and actually provide military support. What did she do? She's distancing herself from the United States.
Fair use. So now Japan is distancing from the United States. Look at all these countries. They're not telling you this in America, folks, who are now distancing themselves from the United States. Right? Fair use, fair use, fair use.
That's exactly what Iran wants out of America's Asian allies. This is geopolitical power, and it's rooted in the control of Hormuz. It's rooted in the selective military blockade. That selective military blockade produces vulnerability to India, vulnerability to Japan. And that is what we call it the leverage, but the leverage is not enough of a full description. This is reorienting America's allies in Asia. Now, let's talk about what's happening in the Persian Gulf itself. Before the war, February 27, there was essentially a balance in the Persian Gulf where you had Iran on one side and you had this growing collection of Gulf states that were part of an emerging web. They're cooperating with Israel more and more on different issues. President Trump is bringing in his AI billionaires to sort of grease this cooperation so that there's some material benefits. Well, that was effectively a counterbalancing coalition to Iran. Now, what's happened after 40 days is this is breaking down fast. America has military bases in Qatar, has military bases in Bahrain, has military bases in Kuwait. I'm just picking a few, and military base, of course, in Saudi Arabia. These military bases, they are producing little leverage here against Iran. In fact, our aircraft carriers are not anywhere near the Persian Gulf. They're 1,000 miles away. These bases are big fat targets. They are above ground. Iran's precision drones can hit things above ground, and they're doing it on those bases. That was their immediate retaliation. What's happening, number one, is the anchor, the military anchor of this coalition started to disappear within hours of the bombing on February 28th.
What do you mean by the military anchor?
In order to have this coalition work,
which is like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait.
Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, somebody has to be the guarantor of protection. It's like the mob boss who protects everybody else. That is the United States. And that is what our military bases were supposed to do. They become the military anchor that allows then for there to become political counterbalancing against Iran. That was the Kushner idea in the first Trump administration. And it seemed to work. And it seemed to bring some of these states together who wouldn't necessarily think you would cooperate with Israel. Well, this war is torpedoing this whole idea. President Trump is not even willing to do much to actually defend our own bases, much less Saudi Arabia, much less UAE. What he's telling them is, you go out there and start defending yourself. Well, that's not a guarantor of security. The next thing that's happening is these states, which were operating more in concert, are starting to break down and operate in 3 pools. You have Iraq, which is now complaining more and more about a U.S. military presence there. They're distancing themselves from American military presence. And remember, we installed that government in 2003. So they're not siding with us, they're distancing themselves from us. Then you have Qatar and you have Oman. What Iran's doing is saying, we should share some of these tolls with.
I'd like to thank you all for your support. May the Most High bless your homes. Fair use. Now listen to this. We're going to a few spaces here. We're going to jump around a little bit. We're going to 45 minutes in. Listen to this. Going to jump around a little bit. 45 minutes in. 1 second. When you get a chance, brothers and sisters, on your own time, check out Diary of the CEO and hear it in its entirety. But I'm going to pull out some key parts in this that's prophetic. Okay? For the sake of this lesson, we're going to save some time. Thank you, Maria Yala. Thank you, Joseph. And thank you all for your support. I really appreciate you. Praise the Most High. Thank you. Right here. 45 in. Right there.
This.
On that point, one of the questions and one of the points raised by the audience last time I had the conversation was really, we didn't spend enough time talking about the 90+ million people that live in Iran that are often, many of them, caught amongst all of this absolute chaos. And I was looking at a bunch of messages from people that are living in Iran. I'll read some of them from ordinary citizens. I'm not great at math, but where will the money, the resources, and the experts come from to build a country that ordinary people spent decades trying to build? This is a different person. From the beginning of the war until today, we have been bombarded. Not only are we not one step closer to freedom, from what I can see, we are miles away from it. From another person in Iran. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. This has deeply terrified me. It raises really the question. A lot of this discourse doesn't speak much to 90+ million people that are living there and that are having to exist under this terror. And like the best way that I could conceptualize it is I imagined if I'd woken up one day and Vladimir Putin or some other leader around the world had said that they were potentially going to end the civilization that I live in, the country that I live in, tonight, how would I be feeling? And if I was hearing bombs go off all the time, how would I be feeling? And if things were escalating when me and my family lived, how would I be feeling? And it is chilling to think about. It is truly chilling.
It's chilling because this is now moving the needle inside of Iran to make the ordinary person on the street, even the pro-democracy movement, willing to tolerate Iran killing Americans because we're killing them. And we're saying we're going to do it even worse. And we're even beyond that. We're saying at the whim of a president who wakes up thinking maybe this will help save his presidency, he is willing to kill the entire civilization of a country because he thinks maybe this is going to be his golden off-ramp to get out of this problem for himself personally. And by the way, we in our country, when Al-Qaeda attacked us on 9/11, there was tremendous fear. There would be more attacks by Al-Qaeda in the weeks afterwards. There was just much fear. And I've done the studies of the American public opinion on this. It's the fear of Muslims killing Americans that's driving the support for the Iraq war. If this is happening to Americans, you can only imagine what's going to happen to the ordinary Iranians. And they've been subjected not to just one attack, 40 days of attack.
So for the average Iranian person that opposes the regime in Iran and has been living under terror and oppression for many, many decades, what do you think happens next for them? They're the group of people that I think about and care about the most in this equation. We spend a lot of time talking about US power and we talk about lots of these other regional partners, but there's like 90-odd million people stuck right in the heart of this that often don't really have a voice.
Their life expectancy will go down in measurable years. So if we had taken out the electric power, so this is something I know quite a bit about. In the 1990s, I was working for the Air Force. Literally under my boss was John Warden, the leader of the Leadership Decapitation School. And he brought in, not classified at all, he brought in engineers of electric power plants to teach us how to take down electric power. The electric power grid in Iran, it looks like a network. And that network has big nodes. That's what President Trump said. He's going to take off the big power plants that produce in the 10s, 20s, 30 megawatts range. And there are probably about 130 nodes altogether. But if you just take out the top 10, you're probably going to take down the entire network because the top 10 nodes are distributed in the right places to support different electric power in different regions of the country. You have two choices in targeting sense. You can take out the transformers, in which case you knock it out for a week or two, and it is inconvenient. And yes, there will be some people who will die. There were human chains around those targets, by the way. Those people would die. But if you took out the hulls, the generating hulls.
What's that?
That's the giant turbines that are huge. There is no backup to those. Each of those is specially made. You will be knocking out that generation for 6 months, 12 months, maybe 18 months at a minimum. What that's going to do is stop all dialysis in the country. That's going to stop all the heart surgeries and other life-saving surgeries that are going to happen in the country. It's going to take out all the food refrigeration in the country. So, you know, when power goes out in your house and goes out for 10 minutes or an hour, it's not so bad. You don't really notice it. But when it goes out for 2 days or 3 days or a week, all the food in your refrigerator spoils and you can't eat it fast enough. You can't give it away fast enough because it's happening to everybody on your block. Well, that's what would happen across the country. So there's going to be an enormous amount of spoilage of food, and that refrigeration then is not going to be available to come back. And so you're going to have enormous hunger problems here. So people that were already malnourished, they are going to be susceptible to more disease. So you will end up lowering the life expectancy in a measurable way of that population.
This company that I've just invested in.
Right? I need y'all to check this out now. Let me see. That's right. A little bit more. 53 minutes, and then one other article I want to show before opening things up. And we're going straight to the 10 horns. Right? 53 minutes.
So there's been a lot of talk in the recent days about a ceasefire. And Trump said he was going to, he said, tweet these horrific things about ending a whole civilization tonight. And then at the final hour said that they had proposed a 10-point plan and that there was going to be a 2-week ceasefire. What do you think was actually going on there?
The collision of stages 3 and 4. So what you are now seeing is we are now understand we're in it for the long haul, which means we can't go back to February 27. We can't undo the last 40 days. It's just not going to be possible. So there's only 2 futures going forward. Future number 1 is that ground war option. And we've talked about how terrible that is. And of course, that's obviously bad cost. But future number 2 is Iran as an emerging 4th center of world power. And that is incredibly damaging to America's power. And that is going to be damaging to President Trump's legacy.
Is there not another option where Iran, their leadership says, okay, we won't make nuclear weapons. Okay, we'll be friends. Okay, it's all over. Please stop bombing us. let's go for peace?
So my response to that is I've been studying the history of international politics for over 35 years. I know quite a bit about great power politics and regional power politics going back 300 years. I have never seen a country at the regional level or at the great power level surrender power. Did America, after World War II, decide, well, yes, we have the capability to build nuclear weapons, but, you know, we want to get along with the Russians who helped us defeat Germany. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually have a deal, an arms control agreement. In fact, this was proposed, by the way, and we rejected it, which is we're just going to not go down that road. We're going to surrender the power advantage that we have here so that we can be cooperative with the Soviets who had just worked with us to defeat Nazi Germany.
So that's not going to happen.
There's no evidence in history, in our history, we've never surrendered power, even when it might have been a good idea. But we haven't done that. They're not going to do this.
They're not going to do that.
No, they're not going to do this. You already see this in the...
So in a nutshell, for those who just came in and missed it, we have an expert who's an historian on end games, and guess what? Different governments, different presidents, and all of this have spoke to this guy concerning war games plan, and he's been dealing with this. You know, this is his line of work historically, understanding how empires thrive and or fall. And what he said here is, no. There is no such thing as peace. Because why? They have let, Elder Lawya, they've let the proverbial Pandora out of its box. Iran is actually winning in the Middle East strategies right now. The Strait of Hormuz has stopped. So what government that have seized power politically relegates it? Why? Why would they? See? Once Israel, quote unquote America, began to strike Iran, for the sake of self-preservation, they had to go on with their plans of what? Stopping the Straits of Hormuz, which would topple or destroy the world's economical machine. So now they see it's working, they're not going to pull back on it. Because who's to say once they pull back that Israel doesn't strike again? Right? So while they got a stranglehold on something, they holding that because that's, as far as they're concerned, that's really the only play they have for survival. Right? Now think about what that means for us with this stranglehold on the Strait of Hormuz. Now, brothers and sisters, Iran never did anything like this. Even when America slapped sanctions on it, embargoes, and wouldn't allow them to trade with the international body and all of that. Iran never threatened the Strait of Hormuz or the world's economy. But now it has begun. Right? So this is what this guy is saying. So the other guy's asking, well, okay, we both did a little strike or whatever the case is. Is there a place of peace where we can amicably go back to living normal? He says, nah, this thing have gone too far. Now, here it is. America in of itself, because of this media, the people living in America don't understand how grave this is yet. When we find out about, when we deal with the consequences of what's going on here, it's going to already be too late. When we see it, we're going to see it real time, without warning. Okay? Now, how did they, and that's right, folks, they do predictive programming. How did they program us into accepting the future's reality? The predictive programming, when COVID happened, and a lot of the deliveries that were right there, right, in containers, wasn't getting delivered to the supermarkets and or stores so that we could see the optics of empty shelves. That was the predictive programming during COVID. There was product. They just didn't put it in the stores. They wanted us to see the optics of stores in the future, empty shelves with no food, knowing that that would be the eventual reality once this war began. But the difference is, right, when they said COVID was over, the trucks went shipping and it filled everything up. The difference this time is that the empty shelves are going to be for real. It's not going to be a thing where, well, they're at the ports waiting for the president to say go, and then the trucks can now fill the supermarkets up the next day. So the predictive programming was having us see empty shelves in the supermarket, knowing that that was the future of America if this war were to ensue. See, they have to do predictive program to get us adjusted to seeing things we're not used to seeing. Are y'all following me here? A little bit more, then I can go over this news article. Fair use, for educational purposes only.
And why the ceasefire is breaking down so fast. It's breaking down so fast because essentially President Trump, he didn't just declare victory. He said that Iran's not going to have all this power that I'm explaining to you. And what Iran did is almost immediately assert, oh, yes, we are. They've come right back right away. If President Trump is expecting that out of the goodness of their heart, they're going to surrender emerging world power, this is just a fantasy. It's not going to happen. He wouldn't surrender power. Why is he going to expect Iran's going to surrender power?
So I'm looking at this apparent 10-point proposal submitted by Iran. Mm-hmm. And you got to take this with a pinch of salt because there's different reports about what this 10-point proposal looks like. But it says that based on official releases from the Iranian state news agency, the IRNA, and international reporting, the 10-point proposal from Iran to the United States was for a permanent ceasefire, number one, end attacks on allies, a complete halt to Israel and US strikes across the region, specifically Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen. Number three, reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iran will allow safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. Collect tolls. Iran will charge a fee, reportedly $2 million, for each ship passing through the strait. Revenue sharing with Oman, which is toll revenues, will be split with Oman as custodians of the strait. Number six, lift the sanctions, the complete removal of all US primary and secondary sanctions, release assets. Number seven, the immediate return of all frozen Iranian funds held abroad. Number eight, the right to enrich uranium, US acceptance of Iran's right to domestic uranium enrichment, while Iran commits to not seeking nuclear weapons. Number nine, war reparations, full compensation paid to Iran for reconstruction costs from the bombing. And lastly, number 10, the termination of all UN resolutions against the regime and a new binding UN Security Council resolution to enforce this deal. Now, listen, I don't know a lot about what I'm talking about, so that's the disclaimer. However, it sounds like a good deal for Iran in many respects.
On every single point. And it also validates Iran as an emerging world power. So all of those points in the details, if you think of them as a flow diagram, all 10 of them are adding up to validation of Iran as top in the hierarchy in the Persian Gulf. So why is it so important to be the number one strongest state in the world?
Fair use.
It's because in the last 300 years, whether it was Britain, the United States, or whether it's China in the future, the number one state typically dictates the rules of how the world systems operate. Well, what you're seeing with Iran is they want to dictate the rules in the Persian Gulf, and that's what that is. Now, if we pull this over, which I love your props here. That is good. So right now you see that even though it's the United States is just that lone flag, it has this higher weight. And what this is reflecting is the United States as the number one country in the world, the most powerful. Now, if you also then add this over here. So this would be Israel. You can see this is the world that Netanyahu is depicting before on February 27th.
Fair use.
But the actual world, I just want to point out, is a little bit different. The actual balance of power is closer to this. It's closer to the United States, and then we have China, and we have Russia. There are three centers of world power, and in 1990, it used to be, by the way, just the United States and the Soviet Union. Then Russia, the Soviet Union collapses. This is when the United States is the sole superpower, the unipolar moment. It immediately shifts like this from 1989 to 1992. Dramatic shift. However, along the way, in the last 30 years, you see this changing. And what's changing? Russia actually still is weak. It's still about 2% of the world's GDP. That's not really what's changing. What's really changing is China is now much more powerful. It's still not as powerful as the United States, but notice that we were here in 1990, and now the balance is starting to be to come like this. Well, if we start to add Iran as a center of world power, now we're starting to change this in a much different way. Now, these three powers are starting together in concert to become more powerful than the United States, especially with respect to energy. And energy matters so much because it's an underlying component for our economic growth, that GDP. The way we measure great power, Stephen, for decades and decades, we've used static indicators, GDP, how big is your military, how many nuclear weapons you have. That all rests on the productive capacity of your country, which is why the productive capacity is so important. What does that turn on? It turns a lot, very heavily on oil. Oil today is the commodity. If you lose access to oil within weeks or a month and a half, this has dramatic cliff effects on your economy. Now, if you lose access to semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, that's bad, and it's bad over time in particular. You lose access to oil. This is a cliff that we go off over 6 weeks, 8 weeks, because there's not enough storage capacity of anybody in the world to make up for 20%, 30% loss of world oil.
So on this point of oil, the US don't get their oil from the Strait of Hormuz.
We don't, but it's a global market, and a lot of the price of oil that we're going to pay is going to be determined by the global price of oil, because oil is a fungible commodity. It's like water that runs through the whole system. When there's a shortage, it drives the price of all of us up.
Okay, so I've got a graph here showing the price of oil, and you can see, I'll throw it up on the screen. You can see it's been climbing ever since the 27th of February. So this will impact Americans at the pump as well.
Oh my gosh, and you see it in the pump already. Where I am in Chicago, I was paying something like $3.10 a gallon. Now, the last time I filled up, it was $4.60. It's a bit of a misnomer to think that we can, as America, get away scot-free with everybody else losing oil, and we're not going to pay a price. Now, to be clear, we will have supply of oil. The price will go up. This will increase inflation. This will probably increase bond prices over time.
What's a bond price?
The bond is the loans that essentially any corporation, companies, or the University of Chicago takes out to borrow money to operate. So the University of Chicago borrows, has 10-year bonds. This is essentially we're borrowing money, and then we have to pay back that money plus an interest rate. That's what the bond rate is. It's an interest rate on borrowed money. Well,
now getting to the end of this, I can't play it all because for the sake of the rules of YouTube, but look at this on your own time. The war games play out that if Iran continue this stress on the Strait of Hormuz, and or if Israel, Elder Lawya, even if America under Trump orders a ceasefire, But yet Israel, which is led by the 10 horns, Europe, strikes anyway. Iran will take that as what? A breach in the agreement with America. Strike all of the water of the allies who depend on outside water for these deserts to survive. The United Emirates, Dubai, all these areas which are essentially deserts, folks. They'll destroy all the water and irrigation systems against these cities that depends on outside water, and still keep the Strait of Hormuz shut down. Now, what does that mean for the world economy? Well, guess what? All of the allies who are against America now will side with Iran for the sake of what? Their economies. And at that point, all of these countries Trump put tariffs on, that's right, they're going to side with China, Iran, Russia economically, and they will all agree to sacrifice America. So what does that mean? Right? Look at your screen. Let me tie it all up for you now. Look at your screen. And Elder Lawya, give me Revelations 20 real quick. Right? The global health. Right? The global health. How the Iran war could drive a historic hunger crisis. Look at this. How the Iran war could drive an historic hunger crisis. Acute hunger threatens 45 million of the conflict. 45 million if the conflict extends into June. Folks, it's what, mid-April right now? If this extends into June, now when you look at the Diary of a CEO, folks, they already said that even if they slow this thing down, you would say media-wise, because America has troops already at the Strait of Hormuz, it has already turned into what? A ground war without telling the population. They have moved all their troops out of different countries into the Strait of Hormuz. America has done this. So to believe that this is not going to extend until June, hey, the guy even said it, and I said it last week. Look at what will happen by this fall to understand how bad this thing may become if they declare an all-out war. It's one thing to have a war. It's another thing to declare it by the fall. Keep your eyes and ears on this, because this is how this is going to affect all of us. Okay? Acute hunger threatens 45 million if the conflict extends into June. A roadmap from the Ukraine war could contain the humanitarian fallout. Listen to this. Since the end of February, the world has been reminded how much the Strait of Hormuz underpins the global economy. Beyond the shock to markets lies a more urgent consequence: the disruption of life-saving food aid for the region and the world. Afghanistan, 3 out of 4 malnourished children, right? It goes all the way down. All the way down to each country. Listen to this. Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria, Turkey. These are the places that will be immediately impacted immediately. Turkey, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Caspian Sea, Turkmenistan, right? The disastrous situation threatens to worsen as oil and fertilizer prices surge and as farmers in the northern hemisphere start to plant crops. All right? Like I told you, we've been digging ground and all that. We're starting our own everywhere, planting of our own food, but I digress on that. Because of 1/3 global seaborne trade in fertilizers. Fertilizers are going to be up hands over fist, folks. Passes through or now is halted in the Strait of Hormuz. The timing of these shocks ensures that the effects will reverberate for months to come, even if the war ended tomorrow. So we still haven't felt the effects of the war, that started where? When they started this in the new year, like February 28th. We still haven't felt the shockwaves of that yet. If it stopped tomorrow, we would still have shortages. Costs would remain elevated because the price spike takes months to unwind, which means our oil prices aren't going to go down even if the war stopped. This calamity puts food further out of reach for those already skipping meals, particularly in conflict-ridden countries where famine looms, among them Sudan and Somalia. But you know what they're going to do? Now, this is where America gets stressed, because when these countries who are suffering in the immediate danger there, they become refugees, immigrants that are allowed in the United States, that now will stress and tax the United States, who's already suffering when it comes to a lack of food. See how this is working? So a lot of these immigrants are being displaced or moved around under refugee status based on the war. Now, we're talking about $5-6 a gallon in certain circumstances. In California, I think they're higher than that here in the United States. Well, what happened when you move all these refugees in the United States at the same time with fewer crops this year? Right? The WFP projects that if the war persists through the end of June, listen to this, and if oil prices remain over $100 a barrel, 45 million additional people will face acute hunger. The consequences will be felt most in the regions that rely heavily on food and fuel imports, that's America, many of which already suffer from conflict and drought. The WFP also estimates that as a direct result of the conflict, populations suffering from the acute food insecurity will increase by 24% in Asia, 21% in the West, and Central Africa 17% in the East, and the Southern Africa 16%, and Latin America and the Caribbean 14% in the Middle East and North Africa. Although the sprawling crisis has a few modern precedents, one loose parallel is clear. The fallout of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, back then the world rallied to contain its humanitarian consequences. The question is whether it can happen again. There's a Ukraine playbook on how to survive this, right? Now it tells us that what? Today's crisis begins its deficit. The humanitarian momentum on display in the early months of war in the Ukraine largely collapsed in 3 years to follow, culminating in Trump's administrative destruction of the U.S. Agency for International Development, that's USAID, much of its budget, despite health and conflict relief demands reaching near all-time highs. The United States obligated $4 billion to humanitarian causes in 2025, less than a quarter of what is provided for 2022, right? Now, when you go all the way down into this, brothers and sisters, right? In a nutshell, what's also being said here, if you read the story and listen to that interview, is that, Elder Lawya, all the money that went into the Ukraine war, the humanitarian thing for Ukraine, guess what? That emptied the treasury in the United States. That would be what? That would be a relief valve for Americans if something happened here. They depleted the treasury. When it comes to humanitarian aid or finances for Americans. Right? So they put all this money, billions into Ukraine, and there's no relief for those citizens that are here if the crisis or war comes here. For those who missed it earlier, I was stating the strategic way that the 10 horns would have to destroy America, because why? America is an armed nation. Okay? So you can't physically beat America. You have a standing army of over 200, 300 million people who's armed. So if you want to know how they're planning on doing it, they're doing it indirectly with the war in Iran. Strangling the Strait of Hormuz, which will what? Fertilizer, oil, all the things that America depends on to thrive. That's right, folks. It's getting depleted through this war. So now it's a financial crunch on America first, indirectly, without telling the people in America or in the West that we're the target. See? Indirectly, you're looking over there, but the domino effect is everything that we need to survive, to eat, or whatever the case is, has gone up exponentially because of what's over there. If Trump decides, well, listen, this is too much, okay? I mean, my reputation is in the trash right now. They took a poll, and all of America is against Trump right now, and even the Christian right. He's tanking. So he may think, well, hold up. Let's stop the war. I'm willing to do peace. And the 10 horns with Israel is going to say, no, we're going to strike Iran again. And now Iran will double down against America and strangle America that way. Think about it. America has military. America has bullets. America has guns. That's right. So they can defend themselves. But in the event of a famine, what's more important? Huh? What's more important? A storage filled with ammunition? Bullets? Rounds? Or grain? Think about that. You can't eat the bullets. So this is the plan we read about in the book of Revelation. In the book of Revelations, the EU, Europe have already begun to distance themselves against America, knowing that they have pulled the plug already. Okay? And guess what? It's a necessity. It must happen according to prophecy. Because eventually the place that enslaved God's people must be judged. That's just the way it is. An empire gone forever, as was prophesied out of the word of God. But the tough part about this, brothers and sisters, is that we must live through it. We must live through it. And those with the true faith of the Almighty and believe in Christ will make it through this. I have no doubt in my mind, brothers and sisters. No doubt in my mind. The book of Revelation, what was shown to John on the Isle of Patmos, folks, sent to John on the Isle of Patmos, was sent to the 7 churches. So those in the ministry understood these times and how to get through the times we're living in right now. We have to be led through the Holy Spirit, guided by the Almighty through it. He said it would happen, and I'm seeing how the Most High is actually producing what he said he would produce so that we could survive through this. I'm seeing it as clear as day. As clear as day, I see it. For those who believe. But it's going to happen. All right? Trump is going to get up there on the microphone. He's going to say, well, listen, I came up with an agreement. Iran and us, we agreed. Everything is fine. You know, we're going to open up the Strait of Hormuz. That's what they're going to tell America. And then the next few days, you're going to hear about Israel striking again. So Iran is like, I'll tell you what. You're going to have to agree with everything we put on the table that determines peace, including no more aid to Israel militarily against us. These are the Iranians' demands. The Iranians is in their demands is to say, listen, we'll open up the Strait of Hormuz. Stop funding Israel. Now, you know Israel, the Middle East isn't going for that. I mean, the Israeli state isn't going for that. So Iran is like, nah, we have to assure that if we make an agreement with America, that Israel don't have the what? The financial capacity and the military capacity to renege on the deal. That's what Iran has put out there. Thank you, Yashara. I really appreciate it. All praises be to the Most High. Thank you. So Iran have put a demand out there and say, listen, we'll open up the Strait of Hormuz, but all of these demands must be fulfilled. The United States cannot strike. We must be full reparations to restore our land and all the war-torn areas. On top of that, no more financial aid militarily to Israel, and then we'll open up the Strait of Hormuz. Now, how many of you people out there think that Israel is going to go for that, the state of Israel? So it's as if Iran have put out an offer that they know Israel will not agree upon, as if Iran want the war. They know Israel will never agree to that. No more financial aid to Israel. So it's as if Iran is putting up offers they know America and Israel will not agree with, as if they want this war. Huh? See? So it's inevitable. Iran can't stand still after what just happened to them knocking out the heads of state there. Right? At the same time, Israel cannot stop because why? The only way they can seize power at the very end is to use America's military might and finances to be what? The king over the Middle East, which means toppling Iran. And Iran is saying they're not having it. They'll put a stranglehold on the world's economy before going down in a war. So where does it leave us? Elder Lawya, you have it?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Revelation 20. This is where this leads us. And guess what, folks? It's going to happen. When the shelves were empty during so-called COVID, it wasn't because there were no products here in the United States. It wasn't because there was a famine. Okay? Each state agreed upon to hold all the products and goods at the ports in containers until the crisis is over. And when Biden said, hey, it's over, There's no more pandemic. Boom. You looked up a few days, all the shelves was filled. But they were giving us the future optics of our supermarkets. It was predictive programming giving us the future optics of what we will experience if they went to war in the future with Iran. That was a predictive programming. It was war games, real live drill to see if people would lose their minds going into a supermarket with only a few canned goods, or a few things on the shelves. They wanted to see if how people would react to that psychologically. Okay, they were planning for what the West is about to go through now. This is how the Tin Horns bring the West, America, into third world status. And however, another way they can bring the world into third world status is get citizens in the United States who's used to living under third world status. Immigrants. It's going to be normal for them. They're used to what? You got it. Rolling electricity. Well, of course you have rolling electricity if you have a shortage on oil resources. Then you're not going to be able to use the your air condition and your lights like you used to, because they're going to cost too much. So they're not going to have to just cut you off at first. It's going to cost too much just to have it on. See? It's slick how they did this, right? Thank you, Carol. Right? So we have to keep you, folks, when you look throughout history, right? When you read that Bible, throughout history, the prophets, the teachers, there was always someone there the Most High sent to actually keep you in mind concerning the earth or the world we're living in and how to operate according to the Almighty to get through it. Back then it was prophets. It was called prophets, teachers, whatever you want to call it. The Most High have always done this throughout time. And here we are. Here we are. Right? And see, broadcasts like this, brothers and sisters, it keeps us ahead of the curve. Right? We're going to go through it, and we have to go through it together. But at least the Most High gave us insight to prepare against what's coming for ourselves and those who believe before it happens. Okay? This is why broadcasts like this is so important. Like, I don't know what I would have done, even though all types of stuff was trying to come against us, even during the so-called COVID crisis. Brothers and sisters, you don't know how many balls I was juggling to try to keep not just the church afloat, but to make sure people stay in the right mind to get through what we have never experienced before, ever in the history of our lives. But we got through it. Whether it was opposition internally or outside, it didn't matter. When you believe and understand this Bible, you see the long game. And whatever you're dealing with currently, it's only a moment. It's only a moment. But we must keep focused on what the Most High wants us to keep focused on. Understand this. And folks, you don't know how many emails, how many phone calls, how many the number of people reached out and said, you know what? During the time when we couldn't go to work, that we couldn't do anything, it was broadcast like what we have tonight, folks, that got a lot of our brothers and sisters through that time. And they would have made the decision through pressure that most people regret today who decided to do that. And guess what? It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. When I say it's going to happen again, we're going to go through crisis again, but we're not going to be able to broadcast. I know it. The way we were able to do during COVID, even though we had to self-censor, it's going to come a time, folks, where we're not going to be able to talk to you through the crisis. Because you think they didn't log what was going on and who actually understood what was happening while it was happening? You know they're looking at it and saying, hey, those guys over there, guess what? They're with the Most High, and whatever we try to do to deceive the people, they're always in front of it. It was to a point, telling the truth would get your channel canceled back then. Think about that. So I think the next time they try to do this, it's not even going to be about censorship. It's going to be like the people who know the truth. We can't give them access to those who are under the delusion. Now, the people in the truth and under Christ, they're going to be guided anyway, but they're going to cut off access and make a line and say, Satan will take the delusion. Those that have always been deluded, he's going to take those without anyone being able to turn them back. How are they going to do it? What type of censorship in place? I don't know. But I said it years ago, and Elder Lawya can vouch for this, and a lot of you have heard it. It's going to come a time, the luxury that you see before you with us bringing forth what the Most High given our heart to tell you will no longer exist. Not on this level. It's going to come. And guess what? There was a time we were doing this before there was social media, before there were YouTube, but we were still doing it. And we'll be doing this after social media, after YouTube. Since the God who have called us, Ahia is his name, in the name of Yeshua. Since he's always been with us, and he's going to guide us all the way through Zion. And guess what? And that's including if it's a famine. Better yet, not if there's a famine, when the famine comes. Because it's coming. Elder Lawya, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Let's go to Revelation. Right. And we're going Revelation 17.
Yes, sir. Revelation 17, verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads represents the 7 mountains of Rome. The 10 horns are all the 10 countries that come out of the 7 horns, or Rome, the what you would call alliances of states, which are countries like Great Britain, France, Spain, Netherlands. The original 10 horns. Okay? Russia is a part of that, but they were part of the Eastern European side of it. 10 European states. And the woman was what?
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
It says right here, precious stones and pearls having golden, and look who wears the purple and scarlet. The cardinals and bishops of the Catholic Church. But really, it's an abomination. What's the abomination? It's their religion, which is Canaanite. It's a Canaanite religion, which all types of evil and fornication, child stuff, and all of that is a part of the Canaanite religion, the Babylonian religion. 5.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
The abominations of the earth. Folks, this is talking about who? Rome, the 10 horns. America came out of Rome. Out of 3 of the 10 horns: France, Spain, and Great Britain. Israel today was made, the Israel state, Israel today, that colony, that Edomite colony, it was made from the Balfour Agreement by Lord Balfour of Great Britain. Right? So here it is, even the colony Israel today is a tentacle of Rome or the 10 horns. Don't let the Jewish religion fool you. Not everybody in Israel are a part of Judaism. Okay? At that wall, you have many religions there, including Christians. So they then deluded us into believing that that state of Israel was a restoration of God's people when it's only another colony out of the 10 horns. That's all it is. And it says, harlots and abominations of the earth. It's speaking of Rome. 6.
And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
Great admiration. Think about this. The people who killed Christ, a black man. The people who destroyed and sacked Jerusalem in 70 AD, who were all black people. We ran into Africa. So they were drunken with the blood of the saints. We're the saints. See? They killed Christ. Don't forget, crucifix was a Roman capital punishment. They killed Christ. And when I saw her, it was shown to John that he wondered with great admiration. Like, these are the people who killed God's people and have deluded the whole world into believing that they're God's people. Whatever happened to the Romans? Did they just disappear? No. They're posing as Christians. But their religion goes back to pagan Rome. And this is why John is, he's admiring this particular beast here. He's wondering after this particular thing, like, what trickery of Esau to be the wicked Satanist and have the whole world see them as the righteous. He admired, like, these are the people who killed Christ. There's no way the world is going to believe that they're the people who are with Christ. Folks, they disappeared the whole Roman society right up under our noses. They just, disappeared them and came back as Christians. So even John was admired by this. What is it that these people, these Romans, are doing that would have any of us believe that these were the people during Christ's time? He's even giving you the colors. They're running around with purple and scarlet. Right? Read 7, Elder.
And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel?
Why are you marveling? Read.
I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns. And the beast that thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
When they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. Now think about this. It says this beast shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. So obviously the spirit that fuels this empire is Satan. It tells you in Revelations 20 that after 1,000 years that Satan will be loosed. So who's going to be bound? Satan. So the beast that fueled this Roman government is Satan himself. And it says, whose names was not written in the book of life. So these are evil people who hate Christ. And the names are not written. Right? From the foundation of the world, they were born to be wicked. And it says, when they behold the beast that was. Now, how is this beast was before? Oh, it was in Babylon. The same spirit, the same religion. And is not, and yet is. See? It moves from one empire to the next. So you have to ask, well, during John's time, what empire was ruling? Yet is. Rome. See? It was. And it's not, but yet is. Which gives us the insight to why Romans are following the ancient Babylonian pagan customs. It moved from Babylon to Esau. See that? Read 9.
And here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
There you go, Rome. There's 7 mountains. Right? Let me show you. Seven mountains of Rome. Right here. The 7 hills of Rome. Right there. And look what you got here. It looks like a snake here, right? And you got the Vatican where the Pope sits. And here are the 7 hills that was shown to John on the Isle of Patmos. Quirinal Hill, Viminal Hill, Esquiline Hill, Capitoline Hill, Palatine Hill, Salian Hill, Avatine Hill, and what? Servian Hill. Everything that's shown in the book of Revelations is exposing Satan's religious power. See that? Then we go back to Revelation. So now here's the mystery for those who have had wisdom. Here's the mind which have wisdom. If your spiritual mind is open, the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Rome. The Vatican. Read.
And there are 5 kings. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
Look at that. So the one that haven't come as of yet with the angel talking to John is America, who was made out of who? 3 of the 10 horns. Huh? So what empire didn't come yet? And that must continue a short space. That's America. Read 11.
And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
Read.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Now what does it mean that the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as of yet? You know why they haven't received the kingdom? Because America has taken the position of what? Ancient Rome, and have become the emperor. So even though they created America, everyone follows after America. And the original 10 horns who made her became jealous. They became jealous. And what really made them upset and jealous is because of what Judah did here. It's our people, Judah, in America. That's right, through our God, our gospel music, our connection with God, that made us what? The beacon light of morality around the world, and made America more popular than all the empires that preceded it. So the 10 horns, which are Edomites, whites, they got jealous of America. Here it is, the home of slaves have become more popular than us. See? So what did Esau say? It says, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Now, this is where we are now in what's going on in the Middle East. Because the last 7 years, which is the last hour, Rome and the 10 horns will have power. But the only way they can have power, that's right, the countries that built America must pull the plug on it. That's why they're there in the Middle East, to instigate this war against Iran. This is their opportunity to take back the popularity they lost building America. They must embarrass America. See? And then separate themselves. Why embarrassing it? Why do you think? Look what they're promoting all over the world when it comes to America. They're not promoting strength. When they think about America, they think about what? Why do you think they trans men, trans women? The whole world is looking at America like a bunch of what? Out of their minds, satanic freaks. This is how America is being promoted throughout the earth. A weak military where you'll say, well, guess what? Don't ask, no tell. See? Why do you think the media is only promoting the negative that you find in America? Because what? You must demonize an empire before destroying it. This is how the 10 horns gain the moral high ground internationally, which will give them what? The power to help destroy America. See? We're going to wrap it up. I don't think I have time for questions tonight. Probably one phone call. These have what? 13?
These, yes, sir, 13. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
Come on.
These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
So they'll be in position to fight against Christ upon Christ's second coming. America power at this time is already taken. See? So the 10 horns are aligning themselves as a superpower to fight against Christ. Christ is coming to fight against the Vatican, to take Esau's power. 15.
And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
Look at that. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, what land is made out of what? The peoples, nations, tongues, all different races, like the Statue of Liberty say, bring me all your people. It's America. And it says the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, they shall hate the whore. That's what we're witnessing right now. And shall eat her flesh. That's right. Make her financially destitute. That happened when all the money started going to Israel, Ukraine, bankrupting the country, and then bringing immigrants to take the rest. That's how you make her naked. and burn her with fire. How will she burn her with fire? Even if Trump called for a treaty or a truce, Israel or the Vatican will still strike Iran, which will lead to Iran striking America. Fire. See? So they're really fighting against America. I'm talking about Europe and the Tin Horns through proxy using Iran to pull the trigger. So that America can't blame Europe. That's what they're doing. The burning her with fire is instigating the war that leads to Iran striking America. And through that, the end of America's economy. And I'm going to tell you, food is going to be worth more than gold. Food. I can't stress this enough, brothers and sisters. Cycle your food out. If the dates, if it's still good and those dates are a little bit, because really, sell by and something spoiled is two separate things. Taste it and make sure it works. And if it works, you can cook it and do what? Store it in pressure jars and all that to put on the shelf for future eating. Make yourself stews, food, all of that, and pressure it down into jars. We're going to look up and it's going to be real. The only way you're going to have access to food when it comes to the soup lines in the supermarkets is if you're up on your vaccine schedules. I'm telling you how they're going to do it. That's why they already put what? Vaccines in the supermarket for what's going to happen in the future. And you want to eat? Well, guess what? We're going to have to determine how long you can live because there's a ration of food and you have to come get your shot. And then you can probably get a few canned goods based on what? The distribution during this time where there'll be what? Rationing of food and grain. And folks, we're not talking about the Middle East right here. It's coming to America. Cycle out your food, right? And guess what? Don't put the burden, don't let no one else put their burden on you. What do I mean by that? You take care of your household. Let nobody try to come to you and say, you heard what Elder Rawchaa said. I think now here's my plan for us to come together and we need to put stuff together. Don't ever let someone use my name. What I'm telling you to do is for your house. You have the power in your house. Even if you have what? EBT or something. It doesn't matter. That's money. That's food. You go to that store, instead of getting 1 can of lima beans, you get 2 cans and put 1 can away. You're going to thank me. This is not, I'm going to tell you right now, you got too many people using my name. Hey, Elder, you heard what Elder said. Next thing you know, when I tell you, when I say I don't got nothing to do with these people, then they'll turn on me. Because their plan was to use you. So when I put these things out here, I have to make sure I make it clear what I'm saying. You are responsible for your house. For your house. The only way we do a collaborative thing where we come together is if it's in a church setting. A church setting. If we have to bring canned goods to a cupboard in our local churches, where now other people can come who don't have food and get some canned goods, that's a church initiative. Okay? Where it doesn't cost anyone. You come there, you get your food like a food bank. But don't let nobody out there try to tell you, hey, you heard what Elder Rawchaa say, man, and start calling you and try to get together and say, yeah, bring it to me so that I can coordinate it for you. Guess what? You reach out to us, you're going to regret doing that because it's going to be what I tell you. Understand this, folks, and understand this well. When resources are scarce, people turn into something else. And there's no trust in people like those who are in the church and believe in God and Christ. But guess what? A lot of people that's desperate is going to see you as a mark. They're going to see you as a trusting mark. So again, I'm not telling you to give us anything. I'm telling you to store for your house. Okay? Store for your house. Prepare so that you're not the one out there scavenging for food and now have to take the mark of the beast like the majority of society is going to have to, because they didn't believe in the Most High, and because so they didn't prepare. We're going to do what we can with food, provisions, and all that, to do what we can as a church. And of course, if there's extra, we know people are going to come in that we don't even know yet, that's going to be able to feed their families based on what the Most High is doing with this work. We know that. But all in all, if you have a little something, EBT, a little money at all, you may be getting Social Security. It's nothing for you to get one can of beans and get another can to store. One grain rice and another rice to store. Guess what? When it all go down, this broadcast tonight will come to mind. And you're going to be like, you know what? The Most High was with us that night. Because if it wasn't for that night, we would not have gotten through this day or this week or this year or this month or whatever the case might be. And folks, this is why the Most High called us to do this work, because we have to help our people through a famine. Okay? And again, you notice I'm not putting pressure on you to give nothing to us, because you're going to be responsible for your household when it's time. Let me tell you, resources are drying up. AI is taking over. Jobs are not coming back. Any jobs that are available, they're giving it to outsiders. And through this, and I had this meeting early last year, and I told people, I'm like, things are going to get hard. And guess what? People are going to become desperate. And they're going to be trying to use the church. Yeah, oh yeah, do this, do this, do this. No. I'm like, nah. If people come through the church, become a part of the ministry, and do the work, then they benefit while in the work. But people are going to get desperate out there, whether you be in the church or people that are not on the church, in the church, are going to be even more desperate. And what that's going to be, it's going to be crazy, because these people that are coming over here, folks, they deal with things differently from where they come from. Where they come from, if they don't got no food but got guns, they take hostages. Where they come from. Okay. So you have to understand the world that's been led in amongst us. Okay. So again, take care of your house. Prepare while the supermarkets are still open, before the prices go up. And above all, don't panic. Christ has us. Don't panic. Stay connected as much as you can with the ministry, with the work you see here before you. Stay connected. Elder Lawya, anything you have to say?
No, sir.
All right. I'll take one phone call and then that will be it for tonight. I'm sorry I was late, but hey, there's not much to say. Everyone is telling us. So if you don't prepare, if no one prepare, it's not because the Most High through his word didn't warn any of us. Okay? And understand. Think about this, folks. Those around you who don't believe, and a lot of us, we're loving, we're caring, we're charitable people. But I'm going to tell you, if you don't operate right, and I'm talking about without putting your business out there concerning what you have in store, the people that's around you, guess what, folks? They'll have you hemmed up in a room somewhere, or even worse, while they're splitting what you stored for you and your family. I'm going to tell you, that's the world we're coming into, folks. We're talking about the walking dead. Okay? And as things get dried up, people are going to start looking at their circumstances. And guess what? They're going to try to point blame and all of that to why their circumstances are so. And going to feel justified robbing, stealing, pillaging, killing, whatever the case is. That's the world we're entering. Blessings.
Hello.
762. You are the blessed one for tonight, because I guess I'll pick this up. Man, it's 11 o'clock. Lord have mercy. You must be in the spirit tonight.
Well, Elder, I've listened to you for a long time. As a blessing to definitely finally greet you and say hello.
Blessings to you, sir.
Yes. And I thank the Lord for ordaining me to let you listen to you tonight as a warning in preparation for having stockpiling of food.
Well, all praises be to the Most High. That's our position.
Yes. Give me one quick second, Elder, because I know you're getting ready to go off the air real quick.
Yes, I am soon, and we'll be preparing for a good Patreon Friday night.
All right. Yep. 1 second. Hey, Angie, I have Elder Rawchaa on your phone. Yeah. So is there anything you want him to pray for you about? He only got a few minutes, you know?
Close the door.
Yeah.
God can use to go over there.
Sorry about that. So
You got it, Elder. Hello, Mr. Elder.
Blessings. How are you, sister? Bless you. Bless you.
Yeah, he's from Philadelphia.
Hey. Hey, think of me the next time you eat a Philly cheesesteak, because I'm from Philly myself.
Hey, sister, guess what? There's a place called Curly's around the corner from the church.
Ooh.
Man, let me tell you, I got one wrapped up in some aluminum foil right now.
Oh, don't even tell me that.
Man, sister, I'm about to pop. Listen, I can bring it. Let me tell you, I can bring a Philly cheesesteak back. What I'm gonna do? Let me talk to you real quick. I got that thing in some aluminum foil, but you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop that thing in the oven and put 425 up on there, and pop that thing up in the oven for like 10 to 12 minutes. And what's gonna happen is the cheese gonna melt up on that beef, but on the outside, sesame seed roll, mind you, it's gonna have that. It's gonna have that crunch on that thing, right? And see, and what I'm gonna do, nice and slow. I got salt, pepper, fried onions on that bad boy, ketchup and mayo, and what is gonna pop off with the hot peppers sprinkled on the top of that.
What? Oh wow.
We're gonna sprinkle the hot peppers on there, and I'm gonna just look at it for a minute. I'm gonna get back and just look at, you're looking at that cheesesteak with the hot peppers, sweat running down your brow.
Oh God.
Boom.
He needs to stop it.
Show 'em on. And then I'm gonna just have the fries, the crunchy fries next to it. Boy, you can tell, man. You can tell I'm my daddy's child, boy. Nobody can describe a meal like my dad. But anyway, talk to me.
Okay, tell him what you need a prayer request.
What you? Oh, hey. Thou shalt not covet. Thou shalt not covet. Thou shalt not covet.
What's the name of the place again?
It's called Sister Curly's.
Oh, Sister Curly's?
No, it's called Curly's, but don't worry about it. Where you live?
Chapley's. I'm in freaking Georgia.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We coming to Georgia soon, and I'm gonna tell you, hey, I can whip up a mean cheesesteak myself. When I was overseas, I had to do it. As a lawyer, tell you, I had to do it. I had to make it do what it do.
Okay.
But talk to me. What you need?
Well, we're praying. I don't know. I mean, it's all crazy times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's different, two different dynamics. I'm quite sure where you live in Philly is different than here in Georgia.
Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta,
Okay,
Georgia.
Augusta.
But,
Lawyer, do we have a church in Augusta?
Do I have a church?
No, I'm
Augusta,
talking. Elder Lawyer.
Not so much Augusta.
No, I'm talking to Lawyer right now.
He's asking.
Yeah, we have.
Augusta,
Yeah, we got Atlanta and we got Macon,
in
Georgia.
Oh my Lord.
Okay, we have Atlanta and Macon. Listen, we have Atlanta and we have Macon, but you know what? We're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to do where you are. We're gonna have to set something up there. So.
Well, I don't know. I don't even want to be where I'm at.
Okay.
I think I'd like to go out there where you at. and
Okay, well, sister, listen.
Atlanta.
Well, sister, whatever you like to do, just talk to us. But what you need, or you want to conversate with me. Talk to me.
Yeah, well, out here where we live, I don't know. We live in the area in the Columbia County, but I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, they got some weird stuff going on, with the politics with Trump and Iran and all this stuff going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so what you need?
I'm just saying, you got a spirit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, we be experiencing like racism out here, and you probably won't have that where you're going and Macon in Atlanta. But every day I'm just I have a run-in with some weird behind person who got, an issue about something. So I just, it can't make this stuff up. But it's okay. Earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. I'm just praying for my husband's strength and his health. My husband, he's been working every day for I don't know if it's been 2 months or what, but he's been working every day. I have an issue.
Hey, sister, let me tell you. Sister, I'm with you, but we're gonna have to land this plane. You have to tell me what we need now. You just you got open requests on everything going through your mind right now. So what we need is it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm happy to talk to you too, but let's land it. What we got popping here?
I pray for our health, our finances, and divine protection of the Lord. That's what.
Okay, all right. Hold on. What's your name, sir?
Angelia, and my name is Enoch.
Angelia. That's a nice name, Angelia.
Thank you.
Angelia and Enoch. Look at that name, Enoch. That's a special name right there. And you just need a prayer for your home.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to put that out there on the Sabbath. What type of work do you do, sir?
Well, right now I've been fortunate by the Lord. Thanks to the Lord using my wife. The Bible says he finds wife finds a good thing. She helped me get a job at the airport.
Okay, well that's good. Something is better than nothing right now. Okay, all right. You're working at the airport right now. All praise. Your wife works there too?
No, my wife's not working now.
I got a health issue.
I take care of
Sister,
her.
What is your health issue?
Children.
I was trying to tell you I have muscular endometriosis.
Oh, that's an autoimmune issue.
I had surgery already because I had a polyp and I had that removed.
Autoimmune. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put your number down because I'm going to get somebody to reach out to you, see if we can get you some herbs that can fix you, okay? Fix what you going on there.
Amen.
Okay, hold on.
Amen. Hallelujah.
and I'll look out for you, see what I can do. And what I do usually, if I'm helping somebody out on the herb health thing, it's what we do out of the kindness of our heart to send you the original package, whatever that is. I don't ask for nothing back in return. It's so that you can see whether or not it's working for you. And if so, you can contact the herbologist and keep on going after the first is gone. But at least I can get you started with something, okay?
Amen.
Because my teeth done fell out, everything.
Lord have mercy. Well, don't worry about it, sister. You're going to be okay.
Amen.
1, 3, 6. Okay, we got you, and I'm going to call you up, and we're going to call you. I'm going to have an herbologist call you and see what we can do to help you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Elder. Thank you.
All right. Stay in the spirit and get ready to join Christ's army. It's called the Gathering of Christ Church.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
All right, bless you.
Bless you. God bless you. Bye now.
Okay. Shalom. Well, that was a blessed, encouraging call. Very positive people. Man, our people are some wonderful people. And hey, Elder Lawya, we got to prepare.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So don't forget, when I see you, you bring me some of those eggs. And I just digged up some spring onions. I can at least give you that. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll talk.
Okay, let's barter this thing out now. All right, thank you. Thank you, Elder Lawya. You have a great night. Thank you for your support and all you do to help back me up in this work. And you know what I feel about you. You're a wonderful brother. I love you, man.
Yes, right. Sir. Love you as well, and you have a good night as well.
All right, there go Elder Lawya. With that concludes our broadcast for this evening. May the Most High be with you. Say, prayed up, sin not. We are the children of Israel, and we are back. Yeah, I'm about to throw that cheesesteak up in there and make it do what it do. The Most High is calling back the children of Israel. Good night, y'all. And I'm sorry I can't take no more phone calls. It's late. Let's go. All right, let's go. Come on, where our music at? People calling my phone, everything else here. All right, let's go. The east is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC. Oh yeah, brothers and sisters, I got some music coming to y'all soon. Praise music that we'll be doing on the land. All praises, giving all honor to the Almighty as we praise the Most High in song. So be looking forward to that very soon. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up. We will soon see Israel. And yes, we are the children of Israel. And yes, we are back. Blessings.
The east is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel.
That's who we be,
Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim, from Puerto Rico, and Raleigh from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans, our highest gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us
At gunpoint.
together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. Together us in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans, is gathering Israel, Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, is gathering Israel.
Asher in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be, we be. Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians. Oh, yeah. Nepali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Get the most American Indians, Simeon, our highest gathering Israel. Children of Israel. And that's right, we are back. Good night, my brothers and sisters. Stay in the spirit. Stay prayed up. Sin not. We will soon see Zion.